Welcome back to New Game Who Dis, the show where we sacrifice ourselves on the altar of humility for the sake of your gaming enjoyment and ours.
Well put.
I was trying to find a succinct way to describe what we do is. Yeah. How is everyone doing? Hi.
Great.
I'm good.
Yes.
Hi, Matthew.
Hi, Alicia. Thank you for coming back against what is probably your better judgment to join us.
I know every time I come here, I get like destroyed or something weird happens to me, but I'm in a really good mood, so I'm really happy to be here. And Skid laughs at me the entire time. Whenever anything bad happens to me, Skid starts laughing.
You crack me up. She cracks me up. I don't know what it is. It's just one of the funniest people we have on here. It's great.
Skid is an excellent audience member. Among his many other talents, he is an excellent audience member. Well, we're super glad to have you back. And Sydney, again, against your better judgment, you're back. But glad that you're here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Always a good time. This is a great crew, too. This is going to be really fun.
This is going to be fun. I've been excited about it all day. Actually, I did something today that I haven't done in literally probably over 2 years. I mean, like pandemic because of. But I went to a movie in a movie theater.
What did you see?
I saw the new Bond movie.
Oh.
I know that Grant, I was in my mind. I was going to ask everybody, have you been to a movie since the pandemic? Have you gone to a theater? And you were the one would think would be least likely to have gone to the movies, but you actually have.
Because I'm cowering in fear in my home at all times, Matthew.
Yeah. I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but
I did give Matthew one of my N95 respirators while we were traveling, and I told him to wear it on the plane, and I don't think he did. But that's how I roll. I find a way to get a little 3M on my face before I get on the airplane. But yeah, I went. I was terrified and nervous the entire time. Took my mother, who has been triple vaccinated, the old booster shot special. So she was happy and ready to go. And yeah, it was great. It was wonderful to see a huge, enormous screen in front of you and just see Daniel Craig's beautiful blue eyes piercing your soul.
Yeah, it was. It feels so silly to be like, oh, the screen was so big, but I had the same reaction where I was just like, oh, I haven't been involved in a single movie without wanting to check my phone basically in 2 years. So it was just very surreal.
Look at the size of that TV.
Yeah.
How do they afford that TV? It's huge.
Well, I was sitting there and I was trying to remember, because I was trying to remember what the last movie I would have seen in theaters was before we all went into our hidey holes. And I wanted to ask you this question because I couldn't remember. Like, do you remember what the last movie you saw in the theaters was?
Ooh, Pryor.
Richard Pryor?
Richard Pryor's stand-up special. It was a festival night.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I haven't been to a movie since the early 80s.
I have no idea.
I think mine was Bloodshot. What was it?
Oh,
Bloodshot?
no, I can't. Bloodshot? What was Bloodshot?
I think, was it Bloodshot? Wait, Vin Diesel. Why is my brain not working? Vin Diesel's movie. It was really good. I like that movie.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. I'm happy you guys are in a really good mood today. Everybody looks like they're happy and doing well, which is a good thing.
I'm in an incredible mood. I have been so excited about this for a long time. I'm ready for this.
I don't know why. I was trying to think of the last movie I saw, and my brain was like Endgame, and I'm like, didn't Endgame come out in like 2018? When did it come out?
12 years ago.
I just remembered the last film I saw before all this craziness happened, before the pandemic happened. It was Parasite. Parasite was the last film I saw.
Everything
went down.
Maybe me too. Now that I think about it, maybe me too. Huh.
Parasite.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters.
And now,
that's a good one.
And now Squid Game is a phenomenon, so I just love all the Korean cinema
so
and
good.
TV shows out there. I'm glad it's getting a platform and out there. It's really wonderful.
It's really good. A few things like sit with me afterwards, like movies like Snowtown Murders that sat with me. Squid Game, at the end of it, I was like, I need a palate cleanser. Like, I need to watch something ridiculous because that was just traumatizing. But I do think it's definitely a show worth watching. So if you're out there and you haven't watched it, like, what are you waiting for? Hello, it's like number one on Netflix.
It's good.
My brother-in-law on the phone recently described, he was recommending it as well. And then he was like, you should watch it. It's just fun. And then my sister-in-law.
Unexpected. Yeah, it's unexpected. And I like that in television and movies when things come at me and I didn't see that coming. You know what I mean?
I'll have to watch it. Is it fun? I mean, my sister-in-law was like, "That's not the word I would choose." You should watch it. And she was like, "That's not the. No, I don't think that's the word you mean." Good time.
It's definitely. Yeah, you didn't see that coming, and I don't like destroying and spoiling and all that stuff. So I think you should watch it and we should discuss at some point, Matthew.
Okay. All right.
Skid, it just made me think of Skid. You've seen I Think You Should Leave season 2, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Which one?
The fun thing. It's like, you said it was funny, and he goes, "I didn't say it was funny. I said it was interesting." That's how I feel about Squid Game. It's like, okay, it's not fun or funny, but it's definitely interesting.
Right. Which one was that in?
That was the first one of the new season where he's in the prosthetics and he's like, "Kick the table." And he's like, "You said it would be a fun idea."
Right. Carl Havoc.
I didn't say it was fun. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So good. Another show, everybody. Another show you should see if you haven't seen it. I think you should leave.
Great
Really?
show. I think you should leave. Yeah.
That is a fun show. It's very funny.
Yes, that is fun.
It makes me deeply uncomfortable, but it is hilarious. So we watched it. We had it on in the dressing room before we went on stage in Chicago. And eventually I had to, well, the best part was, Skid, you tweeted about the best thing that happened. Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah. So Joe, we're watching I Think You Should Leave, like in the outer kind of green room. And Joe comes out. He said, "What are you watching?" And I said, "I think you should leave." And he left. It was awesome.
He just turned around and left the room.
Turned around and left.
Poor Joe.
We're here all week, folks. Not really, but kind of, sort of.
It was great. Great. True highlight of my whole life.
That's awesome.
But I did find myself being like, I need to go sit in the other room and recover my calm.
Yeah.
After this, I wasn't even like distressed, but I don't know, there's something about that show that just like gets under your skin. Like, it's funny and you're laughing and it's hilarious, but then like a minute later you're like, oh, I feel conflicted inside.
Yeah. It puts you off kilter, the kind of humor that it has, and it's very intense. Like, every character in it wants something very, very badly, and it's a lot. Like Carl Havoc, it's a lot.
Okay, I'll watch it. I need things like I need show recommendations because I'm a costumer and I'm in the middle of like the October rush, so everything's really insane. Like, and it's giving me so much anxiety and stress. So I'm using TV sort of to get through it. I had a dream like a couple weeks ago where I went, and this is a real dream I had, where I went to a major like costume party or something where like celebrities were there and I was dressed as like a hamburger and people were like, "Oh, she's like a professional costumer," and like making fun of me and laughing at me. And in the dream, I was so stressed out.
Wait, follow-up question. Was the hamburger you were dressed as like a vertical hamburger, or did you have like a tutu that was a hamburger?
Oh, good question.
No, it was like a full bun and like the lettuce and pickles and stuff and meat. But I'm just like, there's no problem with a hamburger costume. But in the dream, though, I was stressed out that I was dressed as a hamburger and everyone was laughing at me. Like, she's a professional.
No.
Oh, man.
That's how much stress.
That is stressful.
But it was a body costume, not a head costume, like in the old McDonald's like type of thing. Like,
Not like Mayor McCheese.
No, my head was
like
at
Mayor
the
McCheese.
top.
Okay.
My head was at the top.
Like the olive.
Yeah, you're like an olive with a toothpick was your head.
Yeah, or something like that. I don't know. That's how much stress I'm under, that it's making its way into like my dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's wrong with a hamburger anyway? But whatever.
No, nothing.
Nothing's wrong with a
What's wrong with
hamburger.
that costume? That costume sounds awesome.
I know. I was about to ask, have you ever made a hamburger costume, or was this just your like the manifestations of your subconscious coming out in hamburger form?
Yeah, it's the manifestations. I've never made a hamburger costume, Matthew. You've seen my costumes. What the heck would I be doing there?
She's like, get out.
I don't know.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe I should
I
make
think you
one.
should leave.
Yes.
I think you should leave.
You're on your own. Well, I don't think, to circle back to my original question, I don't think I actually figured it out, But I think the last movie I saw in theaters was Greta Gerwig's Little Women adaptation.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
really?
Which I sobbed like somebody who sobs a lot through that movie.
Yep.
And and then 2 years happened, and then I watched a Bond movie. So back to equilibrium, I guess.
There you go. I think that might have been mine too. The Little Women. Because I just remember laughing my ass off when Bob Odenkirk shows up. Because it really felt like a long setup for a Mr. Show sketch at that point. It was just, I just lost my mind.
They're like, you're back from the Civil War. And they're all overjoyed, and you're just the one in the theater just cracking up.
It's like a double header.
Well, on that note, I am very, very excited tonight as well. Because tonight we're going to be playing a game that, maybe, I don't know if this is true, but I think I'm going to say it anyway. Maybe of all the games we've tried on New Game Who Dis, or that I've watched other people try on New Game Who Dis, I think this might be the one it turns out I was the most excited to play. And we're playing Traveler. Yay, yes, Traveler. For those of you who have no experience with this game, Traveler is an old school classic RPG. It was recently updated, and Skid, I know you in particular are pretty pumped to play this.
Yes, this was one of my favorite games growing up. I played it a lot. I dream in Traveler, much like Alicia dreams of being a hamburger. I would dream of being in Traveler. And I love this game so much. It was actually introduced, I remember today, it was introduced me to by a babysitter when I was in like 5th or 6th grade.
Cool babysitter.
Yeah, really cool
babysitter.
And I've been in love with it ever since. So very excited for this.
Did they just show up with the game and we were like, okay, we're going to play this game. Get ready.
I remember he had the books with him. I think he was working on something himself, and he was just like, "Yeah, check this out." Like a drug dealer. It's just like, and I've been hooked.
Just like one.
Really successful transaction there.
What a strange origin story you have, Skid.
You shut up like a drug dealer.
And like most drugs, you've been hooked on it for decades.
Yep.
That version was first published in 1977 by Game Designers Workshop. This new version, this reboot, has been updated and is now published by Mongoose. And that's what we're going to be playing tonight. And Mongoose actually is generously supporting the stream by giving us, get this, 3 physical copies and 3 digital copies of the core rulebook to give away. And
awesome.
Here's the kicker, is that no matter where you are in the world, you're eligible. It's a global giveaway.
Wow.
So
that's the first time ever, I think, for a global physical giveaway.
I didn't want to make that claim, and I see Grant suddenly shaking his head, but we're going to go with it anyway.
All right.
You heard it
for
here
the first time ever. And we're going to repeat it.
It bankrupted the first publisher, so we're excited to send Mongoose Publishing to the grave right after this. Send in your submissions, Antarctica.
Yeah. Oh my God, this would be perfect. If you are on an Antarctic expedition, this would be the perfect thing to bring along.
Yeah. If you're stationed at McMurdo and you need to pass those long winter hours, what better game than Traveler Mongoose 2nd Edition?
Yeah. I would hope, though, just out of respect for Mongoose, that maybe you try to order or get your free copy before you leave for McMurdo, and then you can bring it with you.
Be very thoughtful.
We already said it, so if you're already there, I guess there will be a link in chat. You can enter there, and we'll announce the winners by the end of the stream. I really, really want to know, like 6 months from now, that we find out that someone in Antarctica did actually win, and they've been playing it ever since.
I hope so. I just want one listener in Antarctica. That's all I want.
I recently learned, however, that all aircraft carriers have physical addresses, and so that you can reach the enlisted men and women working aboard. And mailing anything to them using the U.S. Postal Service costs the same as mailing it to anywhere in the continental 50 United States.
That's true.
So very interesting. Maybe
when I worked in a mailroom at an advertising agency, we did drives where we would put together boxes, like care packages, to send to troops overseas. And I was always shocked to discover how cheap it was to send stuff to Afghanistan, for example.
Yeah.
Wait, Grant, are you saying you address it to an airplane?
Mm-hmm. You say, "Hello, Mr. Airplane. My name's Sydney. I'd like to fly on you one day."
But until then, please accept this letter. Thank you.
Yeah, you put in like
an aircraft carrier. I guess you could address it to an individual airplane on the aircraft carrier, but
I think I'm going to be really good at this game based already on my knowledge of aerial travel. I'm going to be really good.
After a great start.
Well, let's talk about this. I mean, I've heard about this game for a long time, but I think what I've heard about the most, aside from the fact that the game itself and the lore were awesome, and it's like kind of claim to fame or infamy, is that you could die in character creation, right? Like that's the kind of thing that you hear, like Traveler, you can die in character creation. And you can do that. You'll be able to do that tonight. They have softened it in the Mongoose version. It is technically, I believe, it is optional. But if you roll really poorly, you can die before we even start the adventure.
Yep.
Oh boy.
So no pressure.
No pressure.
I do want to take a moment first to acknowledge and thank a friend of the network, Vicky Moore. Because in one of our Talk Nerdy conversations, Vicky was talking about Traveler, got me really excited about it. And so when we decided we were going to do this, I reached out to her and she shared this amazing, incredible Google Drive she'd created to introduce players to the game. And what I found is predictable Vicky fashion, it's like incredibly thorough. And there's like a PowerPoint and with flow charts, and I mean, she has old school Traveler modules in there. She was very generous about it, and it's got everything. It's been incredibly helpful in preparing for tonight. But really, you'd probably be better off with her. But for now, you're stuck with me.
She's a literal rocket scientist. She's a NASA engineer. I mean,
literally a rocket scientist.
Would be great. Probably the only person who likes Traveler more than I do that I know is Vicky.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you've got me who has several theater degrees. So we'll just go with that. But thank you,
I never knew that. I'll have to ask you about this later because I didn't know that about you, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. Too many, one might say.
Yeah.
You would have thought after the first one, I'd be like, I'm good. Nope. I doubled down twice more. Yes. Okay. Well, let's talk setting. This game describes itself as science fiction adventure in the far future. And this is the far, far future. And here's how Vicky describes it on her PowerPoint. Humans have scattered across the galaxy. The galaxy is predominantly human-centric and cosmopolitan. Space travel is faster than light using jump drives, but no hyperwave or subspace radio exists, which limits communication. So all of you rapscallions can escape your troubled pasts. Commerce is a major driving force of the civilization. But ultimately, the game itself is very flexible, and you can kind of tailor what you're doing to the kind of sci-fi you like. So if you want to make it more Star Trek-y and more exploration driven, you can do that. If you want to make it more like The Expanse or Firefly, you definitely can do that. I've been reading the Wayfarer series in preparation for tonight. Also totally, also you can play in that wheelhouse as well. And Grant, you'll be happy to know you can also push it towards Warhammer territory.
Oh, now we're talking.
Just whatever it's a very flexible system, and you can kind of do whatever you want with it. But I want to turn it over to Skid now, so he can tell us more about the lore of the universe, because it's got a pretty interesting origin story. And I have it in my notes here to just let Skid go.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was so excited about. It's just like, you mean I can just talk about Traveler lore and no one will interrupt me? And everyone's going to pretend to care? Sign me up. So Traveler, the world of Traveler, the current day in Traveler takes place, I think, like 5,000 years in our future, when I think humans on Earth achieved faster than light travel around 2100 AD. And the first species that they encountered was another species of humans, the Villani, who were the masters of this 7,000-year-old, or actually I think like 9,000-year-old empire. No, 7,000-year-old empire at that point, the first Imperium. And it turns out that what had happened is this race of ancient beings, mysterious ancient beings, had taken human beings from Earth around 300,000 BC or 50,000 BC and seeded them around this part of the galaxy, as far as we know, at least this part of the galaxy. And so the Villani got a few thousand-year head start on the humans from Earth. Like maybe their Library of Alexandria never burned down, whatever. So they had this huge empire that was kind of on its last legs. And so, of course, humans being humans, first thing we did with this other race of humans, went to war. And this empire was massive. They far outnumbered the human empire, but they were so decadent and overwhelmed by their own bureaucracy that Earth humans were actually able to win. And they tried to govern the new empire as a conquered territory, which was never going to work. So the whole thing was basically doomed from the start. It was the Second Imperium. It was called the Ramshackle Empire by its denigrators. And so it didn't last very long. And there was 1,000 years of a dark age. And then there was a third Imperium that came along, the Silean Federation. They reestablished the old boundaries of the empire, and they kind of went to war with Earth and everything. But one of the cool things about the Villani and the other humans, like kind of scattered around the galaxy, is, I was reading about this today, reminding myself of it, is the nature of science was very different. Like the biological research on Vland was far behind what it is on Earth, because the humans there had no biological relationship to any other species on their planet, and no one could figure out why. And they came to evolution pretty late, but all their theories of evolution, humans were outside of it. And as a result, there were almost no diseases for them either going up, because there are no animal vectors that were close enough to pass diseases on to humans. So they're saying they could perform surgery without even sterilizing. That's how safe it was. And so there was this debate as to where human beings came from. They started to run into other planets with humans on them, and they were like, well, where did humans originate? And they found one that was a likely candidate. And they were like, this is the one. It's there's whales on this planet, there's rodents, there's all kinds of things. This must be where human beings came from, but it was in the middle of an ice age, and research was difficult. But it turns out that planet was a zoo that was set up by the ancients. And so it wasn't until they had encountered Terran humanity that the Soleimani hypothesis became popular. And then that led to a lot of racial supremacy theories by the Terrans, we're the best humans in the galaxy because we come from the cradle of humanity and everything. So it is a cosmopolitan, human-centric universe. There are 6 major races, major meaning that they discovered faster than light travel on their own. There's 3 major species of humans, Terran humans, the Villani humans from the First Empire, and the Zodani Consulate, which are way further towards the galactic core. And they're really, highly advanced psychics, psionicists. There are the Vargur, which are a species of genetically altered wolves that were also taken from Earth, genetically altered and planted on another planet thousands of light years away from Earth. There are the Aslan, they're kind of like Klingon analogs. They're very honor-driven warriors that look kind of like lions. There are the Hivers, who are kind of like mollusks creatures. They're very xenophiles. There's the Kakri, who are super militaristic vegan culture, because they're descended from vegetarian herd animals. And it's great. This whole thing is so awesome.
Vegans will get you every time.
Yeah, they are. They're super violent, and they can smell meat on your breath. If they smell meat on your breath, they'll kill you. It's awesome. It's probably like living in LA County. And then there's the Droin, where this winged lizard-like species who people suspect are the direct descendants of that race of ancient aliens that seeded this part of the galaxy with human life. So there we go.
Wow.
Nutshell.
Well, thank you, Skid.
Well done.
I had no idea. I honestly had no idea what you were going to talk about, but I think you've blown our collective minds with that.
And the cool thing is that they're the major species. There are also hundreds of minor species, which are sophonts, which is a Poul Anderson term meaning just intelligent life forms. There are sophonts who weren't given the opportunity to discover faster than light, travel themselves, because they were discovered by one of the major species first, there are hundreds of them, and almost none of them are spelled out in the lore. So you have, as a GM or like as a playing group, you have every opportunity to create whatever you want and establish it in the universe. It's really cool.
Oh.
Great. Now, I should say, like, actually, the lore is rich and complex, and there's a lot of it out there, especially if you have some of the original stuff. But the game actually is rather simple. So, like, the actual mechanics of the game, that is. So, let's talk about that real quick. So, Traveler is a D6 system. Basically, all your rolls will be 2d6. Occasionally, there's a 1d6 thing, but we'll get to that. There are no levels. There are no classes. There's no XP, and there's no magic. The game, yeah, it's pretty stripped down, and gameplay revolves entirely around skill checks. So for every roll, you'll just roll 2d6, add your skill level, plus the relevant characteristics, strength or dex, and then any modifiers you might get. And 8+ is considered an average task. So, figure 7 is the most average roll, the most common roll won't get you to an average task, but it would get you to a lot of other stuff. You don't level up per se. You earn skill ranks and character improvements through character creation, which, you'll do a lot of augmentation and focused training. So on that note, Grant, you have a question.
Just a question following up on what Skid gave us a foundation on within the universe, and what you just said about there not being magic or anything.
Foundation, by the way, one of the big inspirations for the Traveler universe.
Perfect. It seems like in Traveler, where you have man spread across so many disparate planets across the way, that power might be the most important thing possible to give power to these ships, to give powers to the cities on the maybe hostile biomes they live on. Is it fusion? Is it like a solar power, or is it like kind of like a Star Trek type of warp core type of thing?
There are two types of kind of futuristic power generation in this universe. One is fusion, and actually that's one of the ways that ships can refuel is by skimming either on gas giants or on watery planets in their oceans, distilling out hydrogen, and that's what they use as fuel.
That's my favorite part about Elite Dangerous is skimming across suns
it's Elite
as you
Dangerous
do hyper
too,
jumps.
right.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'll refer
really
you to
only
page
limited
147
in
and
range.
148 of the core rulebook.
So you're really only limited to in your ship's range by watery planets or gas giants or actual fuel refineries on your path. And the other means of generating power is black globe technology, which I think is basically creating an artificial black hole and using that, the gravity of that, to generate power. But that's a tech level that's not accessible to almost anywhere in the known galaxy.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll talk. This actually will become relevant in the module, but the size of your jump drive is basically what defines how your waypoints along where you're going. So you have a bigger ship, you have a bigger jump drive. You can so you can make choices along that way. But yeah, it's as you can see, there's a depth to the material that's really enjoyable. But you don't have to know any of that for character creation. I promise. And also, you should all feel very free when we're talking about where your character came from and what kind of planet. Just make it up, and we can either find an analog in the lore, or it can just be a planet you've created. And there's a lot
there
of
are
freedom.
thousands and thousands of potential planets that you can choose. You can make up whatever you want, and it will fit somewhere in the lore.
So in our bonkers September of touring, when we were flying around from one city to another, some of you guys were super helpful in helping practice character creation, and it's been super fun. At least it was for me. We were just talking before we went on air about this character Skid built in the car between Chicago and Columbus. He just kept rolling amazingly, and he made this character with such a great backstory, and he was like, I'll never get to play it.
Yeah, I've never rolled better in my life.
I was like, wait, Skid was rolling amazing?
I created the Captain Kirk. I created Captain Kirk, but better. Yeah. And I'll never get to play them. They're gone. Dead.
Well, you could roll well tonight.
That's true.
Yeah.
I won't, but
You created like the ultramarine version of Captain Kirk, like the extent to which Warhammer is exaggerated on superhero. Like he was just like an ideal Kirk in every sense of the word.
yeah, he's the Warhammer version of Kirk.
He made admiral by like age 42 or something.
Yeah, I was like the youngest admiral like in the history of the Imperial Navy, and it was awesome.
Okay, so the basic premise for character creation is you roll for your characteristics, strength, dex, etc. And then from there, you take what you've rolled and you start to form your ideas of the character's early life. Imagine the kind of childhood the character had. And then once you know that, you start the creation proper at age 18. And you basically roll on a series of tables to see what will happen in each 4-year term. So you could go to college, or you could enter the military, or go to a military academy, or just start your career. And what happens to you in those 4 years is up to the dice. And also, more importantly, your ability to form story around what you've rolled. And I think this is the thing I've really fallen in love with the system is it's the emergent storytelling that comes out of the randomness. And you'll start to you just start to form patterns yourself around what you've rolled and what happens. And I encourage you all not to have any pre-planned notions tonight, to kind of just let your rolls guide you and just see what happens. And I think it'll be a blast.
That's what we usually do. We just show up and like hope for the best, and then it ends up being crazy.
Just wing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you want to dive in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I do want to share Vicky's advice here. And this is she has a slide that is called the min-max mooring of character creation. So these are just a couple of just handy things to keep in mind when you're building a character. So number one, pick careers that suit your PC. So you have to roll to qualify, survive, and advance within your chosen career path. And I've shared with you the page in the core rulebook that shows you what those roles will be for each career. But you'll be pretty miserable if you pick things your character just isn't, you need skills or characteristics your character doesn't have. It's still possible to get those careers and advance within them, but it's just that much more unlikely. So Vicky also points out that if you stay in one career, the benefits will be better, but you should have career options just in case. So the idea here is you start at 18, you roll on terms, and you can keep rolling on terms for as long as you want. You can just keep getting older and keep getting more experience. And the more you advance within your career, the better the benefits will be when you muster out. But the older you get, the higher the chance is that you'll be hit with aging penalties. And aging penalties can be pretty severe. And
what?
also,
Or you don't tell me. You don't say it.
No, you go. No, what were you gonna say?
No, I was going to say, like, what? No, don't. You don't have to tell me. I'll just wait and see.
Just like real life, your body just starts to fall
Your
apart.
body starts to fall apart. And then your mind goes.
Okay.
It's really great.
And then your mind goes,
My leg.
Yeah, exactly. And you can,
you could lose your leg.
You can lose a leg. You can straight up die. So that's the other thing. Like, the more terms you do, the risk will be higher. But it's entirely up to you. And like, you can roll with what you roll when you muster out and are ready to start the game. And this is Vicky's final piece of advice, which is, if all else fails, have fun with the vagaries of chance. And that is what I hope we'll do. All right. So let's dive into this. So the first thing we're going to do is rolling for some characteristics. These should sound pretty familiar. Strength, your physical strength, fitness, forcefulness, dex, your coordination and agility, your reflexes. Endurance is your stamina, your determination, and ability to sustain damage. Actually, this is cool. We'll get to this, but in combat, like, your HP is literally, they are your characteristics. So you're like, when you get shot, it just knocks your endurance down, and then it goes to your strength and your dex. We'll get to that. And then mental characteristics. Intellect is your intelligence and quickness of mind. Education is the measure of your learning and experience. And then social standing is your place and role in society.
It's also kind of doubles for charisma.
Yes, it can. Okay. Yeah, a lot of what you think of as charisma in other games. Yeah, you'll end up rolling social standing. All right, so let's go around the horn here. Skid, do you want to start us off as the veteran traveler?
I would, and I would also like to suggest an optional change to the game master. So one of the optional rules for character creation in the Traveler Companion, I think, is that you roll 2d6 for 4 of the attributes, and then you take best of 3d6 for 2 of the attributes.
So you get that's essentially so what you're essentially doing, giving yourself a boon in character terms.
Yes.
So you add a die and then you pick the 2 highest.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, that is fine with me.
Okay.
If that starts a flame war and people are very angry, take your problem up with Skid. His
It is official. It's an official
his
rule.
email on our website. All right, so for 4 of the 6 you can roll, you can give yourself a boon, but the other 2 you can't. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you decide before you roll?
I'm going to roll the 4 2d6 rolls first,
Okay.
and then roll the best of 3d6, the 2 after that.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right.
And then
so
you plant the scores wherever you want. Is
okay,
my understanding.
great.
Oh,
You don't-
I see.
You don't go down
Okay.
the row.
That makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
All right. First roll.
First roll.
11. Oh my
God.
11. Oh, it's starting again. Okay. Second roll. 8. Okay. I'll take
Okay.
it for sure. All right. Third roll. 6. Terrible. Awful. Very bad.
Yeah, that's
Fourth roll. 5. Even worse.
Oh no!
Okay. So now I get my best of 3. 10. Okay.
Great.
Take that. Final. 9. Not too bad. Okay.
all right. So how are you going to assign those? Actually, since we're going to do it this way, why don't you, like, while Skid and I are talking about how he's assigning them, do the 3 of you want to roll your numbers, and then we'll talk when we'll come around and just talk about how you want to assign them.
Okay.
Or we could just go down the line. That's
Yeah.
fine.
No,
Sure.
Where do you want to? Or do you want?
That'll
You
give
want a
Skid
minute
time to think about where he wants to put them if we kind of roll.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So just roll and get the numbers and then come back to Skid again. Is that
Is that
what you're
okay,
going to do?
Skid?
Yeah.
All right. All right, Alicia, what do you give us your rolls? Let's see how you do.
Okay, so I roll 2 dice 4 times, right?
Yes.
This is great. Okay. I got a unicorn and a 2. 7. No, the unicorn's 6. It's an 8.
There's a shared vocabulary.
We're off to a great start.
Good or bad?
Oh man, I was like, are we playing the My Little Pony RPG tonight?
Because the unicorn could, you like in my mind, I was like, the unicorn probably is the 6, but it could also be the 1 because it's got the 1 horn.
Yeah,
I thought it was the 1, and I was like,
6.
no.
You know what, Matthew? I see you trying to hate on me. It's a 6. Okay, so it's 8. Here we go. 4.
Oof.
Oh,
8.
Oof.
Oh boy.
Nice.
I got a top hat and a 1. A 6. A 7.
What dice are you roll? Do all your dice have symbols? I would be so
Monopoly
confused.
special edition dice set.
I got a thimble,
regular dice,
and a top hat. All right,
Okay,
and then
so
now
8,
roll
4, 8, 7.
Oh, what'd you get?
8, 4, 8, 7.
8, 4, 8, 7, and then now roll 3d6 and just take the highest 2 for each one.
Okay. A 5 and a 3.
Okay.
8.
And then one more time.
Okay. All 3?
Yeah, and then just pick the 2 highest.
Okay. 5 and a 4.
Okay,
nice.
9. Okay. So, all right. So I would say you've got you've got a dump stat with that 4. So that's going to be your modifier roll to be negative there, and then you've got a pretty average traveler. You don't have an extraordinary characteristic, but you won't take you'll be at a +0, +1 for most of your characteristics. But we'll get to that. All right, Grant. Grant, you're up.
okay, here it comes. This means a lot to me. I hope that I am a little bit better than average, just so I can look at Alicia and say I'm slightly better than you.
You're so lucky you're on the East Coast.
I know. You kick my ass, IRL. 7 on the first roll, so not great. Second roll is going to be a 6. Ooh.
Okay.
Ouch.
Come on.
It's very un-Grant-like.
Oh my god, another 6, dude. Come on.
Okay.
Give me something good. Okay, that's an 8.
All right,
Nice.
and now 3d6 and choose the
All right.
best two each time.
I'm dropping my heavy metal die. I think that's throwing everything off. Here we go. All right, that's going to be a 9.
Okay.
Nice.
Come on, give me one just amazing set of skills. That's going to be a 3 for the final one.
On
So-
3d6, you rolled.
You rolled 3 1s?
2, 1, 1.
Oh,
Oh,
You don't add them all up. You just take the 2 highest.
you take the 2 highest. Yeah. Oof. Okay. Well, we'll circle back to see how that pans out, and then Sydney.
Okay,
that's so
I
bad.
rolled in the meantime because I didn't want to waste time on air before I knew that we were doing it one by one. And I kid you not, these are my numbers, but I can roll again. But I rolled insane. It was 9, 8, 11, 9, 11, 8. How
Oh my
weird is that?
God.
9, 8, 11, 9, 11, 8.
11, 8. How weird is that? But I
That's
can
really
totally
good.
roll again on air. I just
No.
was doing it for fun, and I was like, this is crazy.
No,
That's
no.
like what I did in the
Keep
car.
'em.
Yeah, that's basically how
'em.
Skid rolled in the car for his Admiral. Okay. That's pretty great. All right, Skid, how did you assign your stats?
Okay, I put 5 in strength,
Okay.
8 in dexterity, 6 in endurance, 11 in intellect, 10 in education, and 9 in social.
Oh, so he went. You. This is a fellow who thinks.
Yeah, I'm going for that Navy career again. I'm going to try to match my previous accomplishments in the car.
All
I
right.
I will never do it, but I'm going to try.
All right. So if you're looking at your character sheet, when you fill those in, I'm just going to. So for let's talk modifiers. So for any characteristic 6 through 8, which are 2 of yours, you get that's just a +0. The dice modifier, the DM as it's called in Traveler. The DM is your dice modifier. That'll be +0. Anything you have 1 5, that's a -1.
Mm-hmm.
So your strength, you have a -1 when you roll a strength related check. 9 through 11, you get a +1, and I think that's all. Yeah, you got three skills, 3 characteristics, 9 through 11. So you get a +1 for all of your mental stats.
Yeah.
All right, Alicia, how did you distribute your scores?
Okay, I did a 9 in strength, an 8 in dexterity, an 8 in endurance, a 7 in intellect, a 4 in education.
Okay.
I don't know why I did that. And then an 8 in social.
Do you
Okay.
want to change it? I mean, nothing's set in stone yet.
Yeah, you know what? But see, I really want to have a high social standing. I don't know why. I feel like that's going to come back to be an important thing at some point. So why don't I change? Well, okay, can you have like a high intellect but low education?
Sure, of
Maybe.
course.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll do that.
So this will be for you to figure out, but like feasibly, you're really smart, but you just haven't had the opportunity to attend a lot of school.
Yeah,
Boom.
like if you grew up on a
Thank you.
Mad Max planet,
Yeah.
you're super smart, but there's no schools, so you just never get the education. And just have to
That's
live
it.
on your wits.
It's the street smart. I have that.
Street
I'm,
smart.
I'm developing her in my head. I got it. That's
All
me.
right.
Awesome.
All right, great. Grant, how'd you distribute?
The 3 is a real wild card. It's a real zinger. So I've been playing around in my head. Written on the sheet right now is a 3 in strength, a 6 in dexterity, a 6 in endurance, an 8 in intellect, a 7 in education, and a 9 in social. There's a part of me that wants to put the 3 in intellect and the 8 in strength, and that way, because his social is so high, he's just the idiot son of a noble from somewhere that has like had to pretend he knew what was happening in every conversation that's ever happened around him. But I've also thought about putting that 3 into dexterity and changing the strength to 6 so that he's pretty good at everything, but he trips over every rock in his path. Gets stuck in every grab lift. His pant leg gets stuck in every escalator he sees. Like, there are different ways I can play this 3 for kind of humor and fun. So, I don't know. What are you thinking?
Remember that I think both of those options are great, but I would say remember when you're rolling checks, like for a dex, let's say you put the 3 into strength. For a strength related check, that's just a -1 to your roll. You're still adding, your skill level and any modifiers you've gotten in because of a situation. So, your effect range is, usually generally 15 or lower. So, -1 actually isn't too terrible, right? It's not as good as somebody, something where you're +2, but you're not hamstrung by a -1. But I think you should do whatever you want. If you do want to make yourself the son of a noble, that is fine. I would say you probably would want to put your best stat in social standing. That said, if you want to be a noble yourself, there is a table for that. There is a table for that. Should be the traveler motto, by the way. On page 9 of the core rulebook, you'll see a set on social standing and nobility. They do give the advice that it would be, in most parties, it would be hard. Traveling with a duke would probably be unlikely. But if you are the child of the child, and you'll see there are equivalent social standing scores that go with each of the noble titles. But you could definitely be the son of a duke, or the son of a knight, or the fourth son of a baron or something.
Yeah, I want to be basically what Princess Diana was before she changed the world and became this wonderful person that, dug up landmines and did so much for AIDS awareness and became better than any of the actual nobleborns. I want to be like someone that is plausibly able to be married into a noble family, but with no real standing until I need to be brought in for that area. So I think
there is
9.
actually there's a more thorough table in an earlier version. What is your social standing?
9.
9. Okay, so according to the older table, you are lower upper class, capitalists, top level executives and politicians, top 1%. That's you.
Okay, that kind of fits in.
Oh, so you're nouveau riche.
Yeah.
Nouveau riche. My dad runs marketing for SpaceX. Okay. I think I like the idea of this clumsy guy. I think it's too easy to play kind of a buffoon that is pretending to understand what words mean, and that might be too hard. I like the idea of him.
I'm too intelligent to role play such a buffoon.
I have no time for such simple conversations. I'll play the kind of pratfall guy, because I think in combat and in situations like that, it could be fun to just trip and kill myself. So
okay,
awesome.
All right, great. All right, Sydney, where did you distribute your awesome stats?
Okay. I distributed it like this. I did 11 in strength, 9 in dexterity, 11 in endurance, 8 in intellect, 8 in education, and then 9 in social. And here's what I'm thinking. I know I'm really strong, and I did that on purpose, but instead of going the route of army or marine or soldier, in my mind immediately I was like, Westworld, Dolores, she's a colonist. She's a new colonist on a planet, but she's tough as shit. She works really hard. She's got her muscle from doing the work of a colonist. She's not that smart. She has an 8, but she's not that smart because she just moved there. She moved to this new planet. They haven't really built anything. They're not educated. They don't have the higher education abilities yet to open schools. But I'm just yeah, I just want Westworld. I want my character to be Westworld.
Yeah.
So are you thinking you grew up on a colony, or you want to, as when now you're 18, you want to be a colonist, you want that to be your career?
I think she grew up on a colony. I don't know if I want colonist to be my career, because it feels kind of like an empty hand. I don't really know what I would offer metagame wise. I'm what would I offer my team if I'm just I'm a blue collar worker?
You have lots to offer.
Is that enough?
I will read you the description for colonists, and you can tell me if that feels appropriate or not. So, a colonist, you are building a new life on a recently settled world that still needs taming. It was under the citizen career and the colonist assignment. Your qualification is weirdly education, but it's not particularly high. And then survival for a colonist is intelligence, and your advancement is endurance. Because you got to be able to be smart about how you're living on this barren wasteland or wherever what have you, but you still have to be able to survive the elements.
Is that enough? Is my 8 intellect and 8 education enough?
Yeah. So to qualify for the career, you just need an education of 5+. So
I see. Okay.
But then to survive, you need to roll a 7+ in intellect. So odds are you'd get it every time, because 7 is the most common dice roll. But could roll lower, could roll higher.
Maybe I'll think about this. Maybe I will do that, or maybe I'll pick a different career, and that's sort of my backstory. But I like this idea.
That's cool.
Great. So
That actually reminds me, one of the rumors, speaking of how the Traveler system can kind of match any setting, that's one of the rumors, is that Firefly was actually based on Joss Whedon's home Traveler game.
I heard the same.
Wow.
Yeah, so that could...
Oh, that's cool.
That's a flex.
Yeah. Okay. So now, based on, I'm going to go back around, and based on your characteristics, we can start to think about who your character is. We've already started doing that. What's their name? What do they want? What are their dreams? Is the university, education or the military even possible for you? What are you thinking? So, Skid, you mentioned that you wanted to go for a career in the Navy.
Yeah.
So, who is this character? What are they about? Talk to me about their Navy dreams.
So I think it's funny too, because 3 of us are the exact same social strata, where 3 of us are at 9 social standing, right? So 3 of us are like lower upper class. So that's interesting. But yeah, I think he grew up like fairly wealthy, and I think it was it's a multi-generational naval family, like generations of naval service, going like 4 generations. Maybe even back to like the Soleimani Rim Wars, and so it's just like it was what's expected of him, and he is going to go to college. It's like that's the deal with his father. It's like you can go to college, you can study whatever you want, but when you get out, you're going into the Navy. It's like that's
so
the exchange for paying for college.
Oh, so you're going to go to college, not the Naval Academy.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's get into your first term then. And I don't know if you have a name yet, but if you're starting to think about names, like you can work on that too. So I do have a name. What's your name?
Aaron Bridger.
Aaron Bridger. You know, the captain of the Sequest DSV, played by Roy Scheider in the television show in the early 90s, was named Bridger.
That's right.
All right. So
also based on Roy Scheider's home Traveler game.
Yes. Roy Scheider. Frequent Traveler player. They played it on the set of Jaws 2, I heard.
Yes. Huge tabletop RPG fanatic, Roy Scheider.
All right. So let's walk through this. And Skid, you've done this with me already, so you know a lot of this, and obviously you've played before, but let's talk about how this works. So the first thing you're going to do is you want to go to a university. So you have to, basically there are 3. The first thing you do for every career term is qualify for a career. So let's see if you can get into school. So the roll is an education 7+. So if you have to roll, you roll 2d6, add your education modifier, which for you is +1, and then as long as you have 7+, you get in.
I'm so nervous. Oh, nailed it! 7 exactly on the dice, 8 total.
Okay, so Aaron Bridger gets into school. What kind of school are you going to?
I think it's definitely top 10 Imperial Party School. It's the sci-fi equivalent of Ohio State. We'll say that. I just got back from Columbus.
All right. So university works a little differently from other career terms. So let's just walk through this. So first thing you do is there's a list of, I'm on page 14 of the core rulebook if you want to follow along at home. So you're in school, and now you get to choose 2 skills from the list below, and I'll just read it off quickly. Admin, advocate, animals, training or veterinary, art, any specialty, astrogation, electronics, any specialty, engineer, any specialty, language, any specialty, medic, navigation, profession, any specialty, and science, any specialty. So what you get to choose one to be a level 0 skill and one to be a level 1 skill.
Okay. I think he is going to do pre-law. So he is going to have level 1 advocate.
Okay, great.
And he is going to have a level 0 in let me see, theater. Minors in theater.
So art, theater.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about skills for a minute, just to give you guys. And I know we're info dumping a little bit, but just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea what you're doing. So skills. If you're untrained, you can roll any skill at any time. If you're untrained, your dice modifier to that roll is a -3. So you would do 2d6 relevant characteristics, strength, dex, whatever it is, and then -3 because you're untrained. But you can always roll it. If you're level 0, you're considered competent. At that point, you get a modifier +0. So you at that skill, you've had some training, not a lot, and you can roll it without the modifier. If you're level 1, you get a modifier +1, and you're considered trained. Level 2 to 3, you're considered professional, and level 4+, you're well respected in your field. So to give you an idea of what it might mean, a traveler with medic 1 might be a paramedic or a nurse. Medic 2 might be a doctor. Medic 3 might mean you're a well-regarded doctor with years of practice under your belt. And 4+ is that you would at least be world-renowned, if not known across multiple star systems. So not a lot, like you don't have to pump your skills up to be pretty masterful in them. You know, the range is pretty low. Oh, and then also really important skill to know about in this game, the skill called Jack of all trades, which basically allows you to reduce the penalty of rolling any skill untrained. So if you've got Jack of all trades 1, then it's a -2 to roll any skill untrained. Jack of all trades 2, -1, and then Jack of all trades 3, you can roll any skill at a +0.
Yeah. Jack of all trades has always been, going back to the original version of the game, the best thing you can get, bar none. It's awesome.
It does top out. You can't go any higher than 3, but it is pretty awesome. Okay, so Skid, you have chosen those skills. That's great. You now also increase your education by 1. So you now have an 11 education, which I believe, does that bump up your modifier? No, you're still +1.
No, I have to get to 12.
Okay. Okay, so now what you do at this point is you're going to roll to see if you graduate from college. So this is an intellect 7+ roll.
Oh boy.
Okay. 7+.
7+. You have an 11 intellect, so
I do have +1 to the roll.
yeah.
I did it again. 12 total.
Wow.
Did it again.
I graduated with honors, right?
Yes. Let me see
I made you proud, Daddy.
Made you proud, Dad. Okay, yeah, let's walk through it. Oh wow. Okay, actually, that is going to be really great for you, Skid. All right, so here are your graduation benefits. You increase the skills chosen to level 1 and level 2, respectively. So you're now a level 2 advocate and a level 1 thespian.
Yes. Like Matthew.
Except without the advocate, or with advocacy skills.
I'm like a combination of Matthew and
a lawyer
and Matlock.
And Matlock. Okay, now you increase your education by +2. So what's your education now? +13?
13.
Okay. And then graduation allows you to take a commission roll. I'm sorry, first of all, you get a dice modifier +2 because you graduated with honors to qualify for a series of careers, which you'll see there, which includes Navy.
Okay.
And it allows you, because you graduated, graduation alone allows you to take a commission roll before your first term in the military. As long as it's the first thing you're going to choose after university. And because you graduated with honors, you get a DM +2 on your first commission roll.
This is
so great. You get a bonus to qualify for the Navy, and then you get a bonus to see if you can become an officer.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So let's do the qualifying roll first. So this is going to be an intellect 6+ roll for you, and you get a DM +2.
Okay. So total +3.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Okay.
8.
You're accepted into the 9. Okay. You're accepted into the Navy, and now do you want to take the commission roll, or do you want to go the enlisted route?
No, I want to get that commission. Okay.
So then the commission roll is gonna be. Let me just find it on the Navy page. Like I said, there's a table for that.
There's a table for that.
Talk amongst yourselves. Here it is. Commission. Social standing 8+.
Okay. And I get a bonus to this too, right?
Yes, because you graduate with honors.
Okay.
You get
a total +3.
Yep. You have to hit an 8 or more.
14.
Okay. So you will be commissioned next term for your first term or your second term as an ensign,
Ensign Bridger.
and you
The
get
Adventures of Ensign Bridger.
you get the skill of melee blade 1.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. That is you are now 22 years old. That was your first term.
Oh my God.
So you killed it. You went to college. You graduated with this was your deal with your dad that you could go to whatever school you wanted. You went through kind of top 10 party school, but then you ended up being really, really good at school, and you just killed it. And you ended up like graduating summa cum laude, and you're out now. You
Passed the bar.
You passed the bar. You joined the JAG Corps.
I starred in I was the lead in the senior play.
You were the lead in the senior play. And now
I can fight with a knife.
Yes, you can. All right. So great. Let's go to Alicia for your first term. So tell me, who is your character? What do they want? If you have a name yet? Let's talk about all of that.
Okay. Her name is Lucille Kershawn, and her friends call her Lucille. So you said they're 18 years old now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She has a dream of actually being a law enforcement officer and going into law enforcement.
Okay.
Cool.
Her family were like doomsday preppers, and her mom was like an extreme couponer.
It's a great detail.
That's a great detail.
Extreme couponers are like the bomb. They're like out of control. But anyway, that was her mom. And they didn't have a lot of money growing up, but like her father like wrote a book because he was like their major doomsday preppers. They wrote a book that was called that went like big, and it was called like the party's over, go the hell home, or something like that. And the book like became like a bestseller, and that's how it increased their social standing a little bit, I think. But they're still considered sort of eccentric because like they had like a bomb shelter in their basement because their parents are really serious about being ready for the end. Maybe the planet they're on is kind of hostile, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Great.
Possibly.
Tectonically active.
Yes, but she's always wanted to go into law enforcement and be a law enforcement officer.
All right.
She wants to be important.
So does Lucille want to go straight into law enforcement, or does she want to go to college first?
What? She wants to go straight into law enforcement and be a law enforcement officer.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, so you're 18. So I'm going to go to the agent career and the law enforcement assignment. So let's roll to qualify. So you...
she doesn't need school. She's been educated on the school life, okay, honey?
Got it. Sorry.
Probably homeschooled by her doomsday
Homeschooled by your prepper parents, yeah. Okay, so you're going to roll a intellect 6+. You have to get a 6 or higher on 2d6, and you have a +0 to intellect. So you have to roll a 6 or higher.
Okay, because my intellect's a 7, so I'm going to roll now. Okay.
Yeah.
7.
You got it. Okay, you qualify. Okay.
Wow, look at me.
So this is how, now I will direct you to page 20 of the core rulebook.
I'm there.
So you've qualified. You are now you've joined as a law enforcement officer, and so
there it is.
you are currently right now a rookie. Your rank is 0. Everyone starts as a level 0.
Okay.
So you're a rookie, and the first thing you're going to do is you see these skills and training tables. You're going to roll on 1d6 on one of them to improve your skills. So you have 3 choices. You can roll on the personal development skills, so that can give you bonuses to your characteristics as well as certain skills. You can roll on the service skills table, or you can roll on the law enforcement table.
I feel like okay, so I have to pick one or the other. I can't do bounce back and forth, right? One or the other?
You choose one each term. So you could always, next term, if you continue in this career, you can continue to do that.
Okay, you know what? I think she needs to grow up a little bit. So let's roll on personal development, even though I really want to roll on the lore reinforcement. I think I should work on her personal development because she is still very young and she's very headstrong, but she's always wanted to be like the person who is very much into order, and she's very headstrong. That's all.
Perfect.
So I roll.
This one is just 1d6.
Okay. 5.
Okay, you get your intellect goes up by 1.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I needed that.
yeah, so you get
So now it's an
smarter
8.
over the course of these 4 years.
Yes.
Okay, so now that you've done your skills and training, you'll notice also that if you have there are additional tables you could access, like if your education was higher,
Yes.
but you only have an education of 4, so that table is not available to you.
Yeah. Whose
okay.
idea was that, Matt? I don't think it was mine.
I can't claim any. Okay. Okay. So now let's talk survival. So for every career term, the university set is a little different, but now you roll survival to see if you survive your career. So for you, this is going to be an endurance 6+. So you have
Okay, my endurance is 8, so I roll 2 dice. Here we go.
2 dice, modifier +0.
4.
And wait, 4 total?
4 total.
Okay. Oh no, Lucille.
What?
So now you did not survive you didn't survive the first term of your career. So now you roll on the mishap table.
Oh no. Is this how they die? Is this like how a character can die?
This is a way a character can die, but it can also mean
No.
other things. But the saddest
Oh,
thing
I
of
see the
all.
mishap table.
All right, so roll 1d6 to see what happened to you in these 4 years.
Oh my god. So I roll 1d6. Here we go.
Yep.
1. Severely injured. This is the same result.
The worst one.
Okay. So you have 2 options here. You can either take a 2 on the injury table, which is bad. On the injury table, lower is worse. Or you can roll twice on the table and take the lower result.
I think I'll roll twice on the injury table. Let's find it.
All right, injury table's on page 47.
Oh boy. Okay. Gotta scroll down.
You can just, if you want to just roll, I'll tell you. I can also tell you.
Okay, you'll tell me. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Ready? So I roll 2d.
Yep, and tell
Yep.
me what's worse.
5 and 3.
Oh.
Okay. Oh. 3, which you have to take, is a missing eye or limb. Reduce strength or dex by 2.
Let's take an eye because she can kind of work with that cool sort of pirate look, maybe.
Yeah.
She's a patch, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Let's do an
So
eye.
your
then
dex
it-
goes down by 2. So
This is
all right. Now here's the really heartbreaking thing.
Oh no!
When you fail your survival roll, we did this incorrectly in the car, by the way, Skid and Grant. Unless otherwise noted, you have to leave your career.
I have to leave my career?
You have to leave your career.
In law
Oh, I'm going to be
enforcement.
selling Amway and Avon in my trailer.
I just stopped watching Lula Rich the other night, by the way. Anyway, very interesting.
Okay, but here's
Oh.
sorry, go ahead, Skid.
There is one other thing that we didn't do right in the car, which is you can get medical care for any reduced stats that you get injured from. And based on your profession, there's a chance that a given percentage of that cost will be paid for by your employer. So it's 5,000 credits per point that you want to restore. And that's basically debt that you start the game with.
All right. Well, let's see if you get this money. Let's see if you get some money. Tell me what happened. How did you get
what went
injured?
wrong?
How were you, and what happened? Was it on a case? Did something go bad? Was it in training? What happened? What happened to Lucille?
How did I lose my eye? I actually was investigating some, like, this teen robbery chain, and I found out they were doing a lot of their casing out at the local carnival. And so she was sort of
21 Jump Street.
was a carnival.
Yeah, you're like 18.
And,
like it's like we're putting you undercover to investigate this gang of teens.
Get on it. And so
Teens
she
at the
was
carnival.
I don't know why. Like, and see, carnivals are kind of weird because they travel. So, everybody there's kind of freaky and weird. And the rides are really dangerous because they're usually put together by people who are transients or whatever. I don't know. Well, she noticed that 2 of the possible perps were on the tilt-a-whirl. So she followed them in line and she got on the tilt-a-whirl too. One of the other cronies of the 2 noticed that she was looking a little too snazzy in her pink pleather pants and said, I think we've been narked, and decided to they messed with her cart. So when the tilt-a-whirl started going woo, woo, and the teen guy who was operating the tilt-a-whirl was too busy trying to pick up another girl in line, he didn't even notice that her cart spun out of control and she hit her head right on the edge of the cart, and there was a little star that sort of was on the edge of each cart that said tilt-a-whirl with a little star on the end, and her eye went with the star. So that's why she has a patch with a star on it. Oh.
I mean, that probably.
Wait, can I sue? Just can I sue for the money?
No, I think the police department on this planet will probably be willing to. Well, you got to roll on the table.
There's a table.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's a table for that.
There's a table for that. So
There's a table for that.
Roll 2d6 and you use your rank as your modifier. You have a rank of 0, so just roll 2d6.
A rank of 0. This is come on, baby, come on. Give me some Sydney numbers. A 5 and a 2.
Okay. The police department will be willing to pay 50% of your medical bills.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when you roll a mishap, you lose the benefits for that term when you leave this career. So you muster out, but you don't get any benefits when you leave your law enforcement career. So
I don't want to leave my law enforcement career though.
sadly,
Can you re-enlist?
I don't.
I'm gonna be selling it, but I'm wearing my trailer. But
You come with a disguise. You're like, hello, new officers. I've never seen you before. You have an eye patch. They're like, we know you have the eye patch.
I see you at the tilt-a-whirl girl, right?
You work that teen case, right? Those teens at the carnival.
my eye is still over there. It's still such a ride.
What?
All right, fine, Matt. I'll take my.
I would assume no, but I don't know why not.
I think it's up to you.
I'm sorry, Alicia. For the sake of story, I want to see what Lucille is going to do with all that gumption she got on the force.
Oh, man.
And we'll see what. And you think about, she's at a crossroads. She's gotten some settlement money to maybe get herself a bionic eye. But for now, you got to make the rest of the cash to pay for the operation. So we'll see what you want to do next turn.
The operation would be to get another eyeball, right? An eyeball transplant or a prosthetic or something.
Yeah.
Or a bionic.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
How much money are we getting here? How much money are we getting here?
You get 50% of the cost to regrow which would for you would be so you get 5,000 credits that you can use for a $10,000 credit operation.
Wow.
So yeah, so you're 5. You get your dexterity back, but you're 5,000 credits in debt. So I'm sorry, cadet, but the Carnival Investigation Bureau requires all of its cadets to have 2 eyes. Just bad luck.
Fine. Well, who the hell are you anyway? You know what? My dad wrote a book. I'll be back.
My dad wrote a book. I'm prepared for this eventuality. Chapter 7 was what happens when you lose an eye. All right.
You're like Colonel Ty. That's like Colonel Ty meets Jump Street.
Colonel Ty meets Jump Street. The Lucille Kershaw story. All right. Well, we'll leave Lucille there, and we'll go to Grant. Grant, who is this? Who is this person?
I gotta
that
tell
has
you,
a strength of 3.
No, dexterity of 3. He's very
dexterity
clumsy.
3.
He's gonna be at least average strength. I was trying to channel some of the edgier names that the nouveau riche name their children. I've come up with 3 names for this character, which will really help me figure it out. I'd like you to help me choose, Matthew. The first name is Jude Wolverson.
Okay. Great.
What?
The second name is Butch Cairo.
Woohoo!
Also great.
The third name is Levi Blaze.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Three strong names.
I love them all. I'm gonna roll a die.
Oh, a D. Oh, I love it. I love it. This is perfect.
I'm gonna roll a d6. 1, 2, 3. We'll do Jude. Was it Jude, Butch, Levi? And then 4, 5, 6 will be Jude, Butch, Levi. 1. Jude Wolverson it is.
Who is like kind of equally able to do a lot of things. I was thinking he could be a journalist, like a hard-hitting journalist, because he's got a 8, 7, 9 intellect, education, social, and the advancement roles, at least in the survival branch of entertainer, seem to be revolving around those. Although there is an advancement that involves Dex on the on
That's
part
performer.
of this. Oh, that's performer. Okay, so journalist. Education.
Survival would be
and
education, and advancement would be intellect.
the only other thing he could really kind of do well, I think, is take advantage of his social scores. I don't think he's an artist with a name like Jude Wolverson. He could be a corporate citizen.
Well, do you want to go to college first, or do you want to just try to enter your career? Because you could go to college, and that would affect, things could happen. You never know.
Jude Wolverson would like to go to college thanks to a hefty contribution his father gave to the university.
All right. So you have to roll an education to see if you get in. So education 7+ to see if you get into university.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Plus 0 to this roll.
nerve-wracking.
Most common roll.
Come on, baby. That's a 7.
Nice.
All right.
4 and a 3.
So you get into school by the skin of your teeth. You get into school. What kind of school do you go to? Like a liberal arts college?
Liberal arts, space liberal arts, please.
Space.
What's
space
the
liberal arts.
Earth equivalent of the school?
The Earth equivalent of the school. God, why'd you have to put me on the spot like that? I'm gonna random liberal.
William and Mary.
Yeah, William and Mary. Perfect.
That's a good school.
Actually, it could be William and Mary. Earth is still
be.
around. You could
It
actually
could
go to
be.
school at William and Mary.
All right. So you go to William and Mary, the College of William and Mary. So now you choose a level 0 skill and a level 1 skill from the list on page 14. So for you, I'm going to pull up my list of skills in the core rulebook here, but I think, good skill. If you want to be a journalist, you probably want to choose skills that would help you. That investigate seems like a good one for you. Admin or advocate, maybe also. Let's see if there's a profession that would be relevant to you. No, profession not going to seem relevant that much, but it depends on what kind of stuff you want to, or you just study something you want to study. So choose. You see that list there. You just choose one to be level 0 and one to be level 1.
Okay, I'm going to choose a language to be level 1.
Okay.
I don't know which one yet, because I think that almost every journalist in the future is going to have to write their articles in twice, unless there's advanced translational things, but I think it'd be helpful to help them find leads. And then let's do advocate.
Advocate.
At 0.
Oh,
So you want to do language at level 1, advocate at level 0.
Yes.
Great.
pre-law, like me.
Okay, so now let's see if you graduate. Roll an intellect 7+.
God, this is so awful.
I know, it really is. It's terrifying.
Take your finals.
6.
Oh, just this.
3.
Okay.
Can I get
So
a
you
can I push this roll?
No, there's no pushing. All right, so you do not graduate. Which, hey, you could still be a journalist. There's no requirement.
true.
You could, however, you don't get any of the graduation benefits from your college time. So what happens? Why don't you graduate?
I think he falls in love with a woman in his class that is originally from whatever planet the language he's learning is, and he puts all his eggs into the basket of the relationship. It's a bit of a cliche, but he gets distracted by it, puts everything aside, and he kind of like follows her, or tries to. but she doesn't want him to. And then he returns, and everything's too late. Past due. Can't do it. Sorry,
his finals.
Yep.
Fails out. Fails exam.
He isn't concentrating. He isn't focused. Didn't go to classes in this last semester.
Yep.
All right. Well,
So close.
We
Yeah,
shall
because
leave-
we did roll a 6. It was like one short. So,
you were so close.
yeah.
All right. Well, we will leave Jude there and come back. So he's 22. He flunked out of school, and now.
So is that term absolutely useless to me? No, I get the +1 in language and a 0
Yeah,
in
you got the
advocate.
skills, and you also got the bonus to your education.
Okay, got it. Oh, so I just do I go to an 8 in education now from a 7?
Yeah, you get a +1.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So still no statistical benefit to that. What a
No.
waste.
Well, should have thought about that before you ran off to whatever planet you ran off to. All right, we'll leave Jude there and turn to Sydney. Sydney, who is this person?
All right, so this is Titania Wesland.
Ooh.
She grew up past a large asteroid belt, so sort of on like the outskirts of society, and like she still knows about other stuff. She's not like in Bumblefuck, but she was on this planet that her parents were colonists of, and she was part of like the first colonist family of this planet. And she worked basically since she was born in the meat quarries there. And she'd go down with her family into like these deep caverns, and they would, reach their hands into these huge walls of just pink and white veiny meats and pull the meats from the quarries. And she grew up her whole life doing that, and she kind of thought she was going nowhere. And on her 18th birthday, her parents surprised her, and they had sort of scraped up enough money for her to go to school. And she never even thought that was a possibility. And she's a bright kid, but she had no formal education, only homeschooling. So she is now going to college, trying to go to college. We'll see if she gets in. Solely because she is like so grateful to her parents for doing this, but she has no fucking clue what she's going to do. Like, never even thought this was a thing she would be capable of. And her family is very much like the first generation immigrants in a way where they're like, you need to do better than us. You need to go to college. You need to get educated. So she's going to try to go to school.
Oh, shoot. Hang on one second, guys.
Can she not go to school?
No, you're gonna try. So you're gonna work on that essay and see what happens. But we totally missed an incredibly important part of your time at school.
What?
Well, those of you who went to school. We didn't roll a life event for you.
Yes, we didn't roll life event.
Oh, wow.
So the university has its own set of life events. So what happens, Alicia, you failed your survival roll, so you got a mishap. But if you had passed that roll, you would get a life event. Let me just confirm that you don't have to graduate. Yeah, no, this just is during your time. So yeah, Skid, let's go back. Let's jump back. Sorry, I made a mistake, everybody. Roll 2d6, and I'll put you on the table here.
Okay. 10.
Okay. A newly arrived tutor rubs you the wrong way, and you work hard to overturn their conclusions. Roll 9+ on any skill you have learned during this term. If successful, you provide a truly elegant proof that soon becomes accepted as a standard approach. Gain a level in that skill you rolled on, and the tutor as a rival.
Oh, wow. Okay,
What
so
were your skills? Theater and...
theater and advocate.
Okay.
So
you roll... you remember this is before you got the graduation benefits.
Right,
So
right.
it's either +1 or +0 to this roll. depending on what skill
okay,
it
so
is.
I'm gonna do advocate, and that is intellect.
Advocate is intellect, yeah.
Okay. Or
I mean, you could make
education.
a case for education. I mean, it's flexible. I will read you from the core rule book
okay.
as soon as I find the page, which will be happening in just 1 second. There. Which characteristic? The characteristic that applies to a skill check will be obvious in most cases. Balancing atop a wall is patently a dex-based check, while using brute force to disable a mechanism is governed by strength. The main area of overlap is between intellect and education. The former covers inspiration, improvisation, and pure reasoning, while the latter is for trained responses and known solutions. For example, a brilliant but unschooled mechanic might fix a ship using engineer and intellect, while a trained mechanic might follow the procedure by the book by rolling engineer and education. Some checks can be attempted with either, but no amount of education will help you deal with a totally unfamiliar problem, so no amount of intellect will let a traveler know some piece of trivia or technical information unless he has learned it beforehand. So it sounds like it's really up to you. Like, what do you think?
I'm going to go. I think it's just like raw intellect rather than his reading, because actually they'd both be the same bonus, because at this point I hadn't got my 13 education yet.
Got it.
So, well, actually, okay, then I will go education. Like, I really studied hard and I really did the reading. So okay, so it's 9+.
Yep.
I have 1 for my advocate, and okay, so it's +2 total. Nope.
Okay. So you nothing happens.
Okay.
You don't gain the tutor as a rival, and you don't gain the bonus to your skill. All right. I'm sorry I missed that. Grant, let us find out what happened to you in college. This might explain more to the story of why you had to leave.
Well, hold up there, buddy boy. What order of operations should these roles have happened in? That's what I need to know. Should this event have happened prior to the graduation event? Because I will argue that the 6 should have happened for the event in here. And good or bad, could be a 2, could be less than a 6 that I rolled. The next roll should be my graduation.
I will offer you the following bargain.
Okay. Faustian, please.
Devil's bargain. Blades of the Dark.
It's not that devilish, but it is a bargain. You can, I will allow you to re-roll both. So you roll both. So it could be worse, could be better on both, or keep your 6 and just roll the life event.
I want to reroll both, baby.
Yeah,
I want to reroll both. And I also didn't hear Skid taking Advocate because I was so busy coming up with these 3 amazing names. I really feel like Levi Blaze was the answer, by the way. So I'm going to move from Advocate over to Profession, because I'm trying to learn to be a journalist anyway. So I think makes sense.
Well, profession, the professions available to you and the skills in that skill aren't really going to suit your career as a journalist.
Okay.
So I think if you wanted to, I think investigate would probably be useful to you, or jack of all trades. I'm sorry. You can't
I didn't
take
see investigate as a possibility in the skills presented to me on page 14, but I'd happily take one.
Oh, you can't. You're right. You can't take investigate.
I could take profession or I could take science. I could be a science reporter. So I'll put a 0 in science.
No, you can take profession journalist. That's fine.
Okay, great. So I'll have a 0 there.
Sorry, they list a couple examples, but that's
all right. Which one am I rolling for first? The event?
Life event.
All right, here it comes.
2d6.
Come on.
If this event is you get drummed out of school, I'm going to laugh so hard.
3.
Your time in education is not a happy one, and you suffer a deep tragedy. Perhaps you become hopelessly addicted to drink or drugs. A failed romance leaves you in tatters, or a fatal accident involving a close friend shakes your confidence. You crash and fail to graduate.
This is exactly what he said.
It was fated.
Perfect. Amazing. Grant, you couldn't have written it better. Oh, wait, they already wrote it for you.
I didn't realize this game was prescient, but
All right.
The game heard you.
The game heard you.
Wow.
It's in your house.
Everything.
So that just stops me from even being able to do the second roll. That's incredible.
That's right.
That's pretty incredible.
Wow.
All right.
Awesome.
See, this game is amazing. We haven't even finished your first terms yet. All right. Sorry about my mistake, Sydney.
Yes.
Let's see if Titania Wesland gets into school.
Okay, let's find out.
So you're gonna roll an education 7+.
Okay, and also I want to say on my character sheet, I shifted 2 things around, or I switched some stuff around. I made it so that my intellect is a 9, my social is an 8, and my education's still an 8. So I switched my intellect and my social.
Okay, great.
I don't think she's very socialized. All right, let's see.
Well, in this colony, there's only so many people to talk to.
I know, and she doesn't really like any of them. So, nice, 2 5s. That's a 10.
All right,
Nice.
you get into school.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. She's surprised too. She's like, "What? Who are you? Who's this person with one eye?
Congratulations!
Are you a teen? Are you supposed to be a teenager?"
I mean, this actually
Working
might be a
security
good
in the parking
time.
garage.
Well, this actually can be a good time for me to bring up the connections rule. So in character creation, if 2 players agree, any event rolled for one traveler can involve another. And only one of you needs to roll for that specific event. And if you can do this, you both get an extra skill of your choice. Maximum 2 skills per character creation. You can only do once per pair. You can't do jack of all trades, and you can't go above level 3. There are some rules.
And this is usually, I think this is usually done at the end of character creation so that you can kind of fill in any skills that the crew is missing.
Yeah, you can do that.
And you kind of look back. It's like, what did you do in year 3? It's like, oh, I did this. It's like, oh, well, maybe this happened to the 2 of us, and then I take this and you take that.
Yeah, you
I like
can.
that.
I mean, you're allowed to do it anytime during creation. You can also do it like if Skid decided that Titania was the girl he followed, and you agreed, Sydney. Like you don't have to do that, but I'm saying as an example, you could both get a skill out of that, which could be kind of fun.
Matthew,
I think it would be so funny.
Great idea. I think I'm going to, after flunking out, I'm going to change my name to Levi Blaze in order to reapproach and try to reconnect with Titania.
So your character legally changes their name.
Yes,
Upon
absolutely.
washing out of college.
There's a table for that.
God.
There's
Perfect.
not.
Of course there is, Matthew.
So Sydney, you
Yes.
get to choose a level 0 skill and a level 1 skill from the list on page 14.
Okay. I think I'm going to choose astrogation
Great.
as a level 1 skill. I think once she goes to school, she is like really interested in the ability to go literally anywhere else.
Cool.
Um,
And that's specifically, it's different from engineer because astrogation is specifically about jump drives. So that's awesome.
Oh, okay, cool. Didn't know that. I thought it was just travel in general, but I'm down for that. That's cool. She's like, get me so far away.
Yeah.
And then honestly, maybe engineering as well. I think she starts getting really into building stuff, and she realizes she's really good with her hands and never got to use that as a computer skill. So
Awesome.
Okay, great.
So-
Do you think you're going to a college on your planet, like on your sort of frontier planet, or did you go
Nah.
to school off world?
yeah, she didn't go to the state school. She went to God. What is the equivalent? This U.S. equivalent? No, you know what? She went abroad to college. That is the equivalent. I'm
okay.
living in the United States, and I went to Edinburgh for college. How interesting!
Wow, awesome.
So yeah, that's her.
Should be fun.
All right. So Sydney, within engineer, you can choose a specialty. So your specialties are M drives, which is the spacecraft's maneuvering drive, like think the thrusters. The J drive, which is the jump drive, which would go with your astrogation, but you don't need to feel pressure to take that. Life support, self-explanatory, and then power, which maintains the ship's power plant.
I think she would do life support.
Cool. Yeah. So you spend your whole life on this colony, and then your parents surprise you with the money to go to college, and you get to college and you just get really wrapped up in just like space.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. She's like, wow, I existed as a spec, and there's so much to be done, and I'm like so young but so old at the same time, and it's like there's not enough time to do stuff. It's a feeling in college where like I have so much time but not enough time, and I think she makes friends too. I think she like really has a good college experience. Well, let's find out. Maybe she doesn't have a good college
you don't
experience.
know. But that's cool too, because probably going to college was your first time on a spaceship.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that probably opened your eyes quite a bit just then, you know.
Totally. So now I roll my life event?
Well, first you get a bonus to your education, so you can increase your education by +1.
Heck yeah. I'm so smart now.
And and then you roll for a college event. So go ahead and roll 2D, and I'll tell you. By the way, when I say 2D, that's the cool way in the rulebook that they refer to as 2D6.
Yeah.
We don't even have to
2D.
say the number. We
You
know
don't
what
have
it
to
is.
say the number.
All right. Let's see. That's a 6.
6. Oh, interesting. Wow, this is
what
this
she
is cool.
said.
This is cool for you. You become involved in a tightly knit clique or group and make a pact to remain friends forever, wherever in the galaxy you may end up. Gain D3 allies.
BFFs.
Ooh.
Space
Awesome.
BFFs.
I love this. She was like, I made such good friends, and wherever in the galaxy, that's so hopeful. That's a really big galaxy.
That's really cool.
You
It's
guys
like
be like Mean
Sisterhood of the
Girls.
Traveling Coveralls.
No, we're not mean girls. We're nice. We're nice girls.
So I don't necessarily want to push you into this, but you could consider using one of those allies you could use the connections roll, and you could find like that might be a way to think about bringing the party together on the other end.
I like. Well, I can't be Grant because we had a horrible breakup.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I didn't mean what I said though. It was a translational error. I was trying to speak to you in your home tongue, and it went wrong. Titania, forgive me. It's me, Jude. It's not Levi Blaze. It's Jude Wolverson.
I like to I like to imagine that like the breakup on Titania's part, like she was kind of like, we can still be friends. Like, it's fine. We'll be friends and like, I'll see you around. And he was like, my life is over. I'm changing my name. Like, it wasn't even a bad breakup, but he was like,
So dramatic.
my world is crushed.
It was cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Papa Roach time, baby.
Suffocation, no breathing. I'm in space. Suffocation, no breathing. Papa Roach.
I studied life support.
There you go.
Yes.
All right, roll to see if you graduate. Intellect 7
shit.
plus.
Okay.
Come on, girl.
2D, right?
Yep.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh,
Honors, right?
you graduate with honors.
Let's
Congratulations.
Nice.
Wow. Titania
Okay.
kicked ass.
So now you increase the chosen skills to level 1 and level 2 respectively.
Heck yeah.
You increase your education by an additional +2. So what's your education now? 10 or is it 11?
My education
15.
is. Oh, wait. So here's my question. When I increased my education before, do I increase my modifier or I increase the number?
The number.
The number.
Cool. So it's a 9. Yes. So now it's a 10.
So it was a 9. So it was a 9 when you got the +1.
Yep. +1 made it a 9. Now it's a 10.
Now it's an 11.
11.
Oh.
You get a
+2?
+2. Yeah.
Oh.
So this will change your modifier. Now your modifier is a +1, or it might have been before.
Yeah. It was before with the. Yeah.
It was before.
But cool.
Okay. So now you get a dice modifier +2 to certain careers, which I'm not sure is going to affect you. Well, it could, depending on where you want to go. I don't know. So what are you thinking for a career? Do you want to, so is the idea that you then now go work on a ship, or?
Well, my thought was, I don't think she's going to be a citizen. I don't think she's going to go back to being a colonist. I think she's going to go. I do like the +2 to career, and I'm wondering if a scout would make sense.
Yeah, that would make
That'd
total
be-
sense.
So
Given
the-
your life path, yeah.
The Interstellar Scout Service actually is a pretty dominant force in Traveler, because they're, they can just put you on a ship and you can go fly, to chart new worlds and kind of establish outposts and send back reports. The Scout Service is pretty cool and actually will be relevant in the module, so I'm not pushing you to do it. But
I like it. I like it.
It's also one of the most surefire ways to get a ship early on in character creation, but it's may not factor in.
So within Scout, though, you have three assignment options. There's Courier, so you're responsible for shuttling messages of high value packages around the galaxy. Surveyor, you visit border worlds and assess their worth. Or Explorer, you go wherever the map is blank, exploring unknown worlds and uncharted space.
I feel like Explorer is more up her alley, coming from the colonist world.
Okay. Actually, that would fit your stats well too, because the qualification role for Scout is an intellect, but then the survival is endurance and the advancement's education, both of which are your strong stats.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So I know you this is technically term 2, but let's just see, because you got the dice modifier. Let's see if you make it into the Scout Service. So roll an intellect 5+ and you get a +2 to this roll.
Cool. Okay.
So for you, it'd actually be a +3, I believe. Yeah.
12.
They accept you instantly.
Yay.
Okay.
They recruit you.
They recruit
Right
you.
out of college.
You're headhunted in college.
Yeah.
All right. Amazing. Great. We will leave Titania there, and let's go back to Aaron. Ensign Bridger.
Richard.
So you are
Reporting for
now
duty.
in the Navy. All right.
Meet your fellow man.
Yes. So first things first, you get to do your skills and training. So which of these tables, you can choose personal development. I'm in the wrong page. personal development, service skills, or you never chose a specialty. Which specialty in the Navy were you thinking? Line/crew, engineer/gunner, or flight?
Ooh, I think I'm gonna take flight.
Okay. I want to be a pilot, Johnny.
I want to be a pilot.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no, I won't, because my dexterity is just very average. So I think I'm gonna go line crew.
Okay. All right. So, now you also are an officer, so you're a commissioned ensign. So you have the fourth table, you see the officer commissioned only. Actually, you have excellent education as well, so you can roll for advanced education. So you can roll on any of the top 4 tables or the line crew table there as well.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, while you're looking through it, I'll talk about it. The advanced education skills just gives him you can roll to get skills in electronics or astrogation or admin or stuff that they're trying to develop a leader here. And the officer stuff is leadership, admin, tactics, again, stuff they're trying to develop, leaders out of this young naval family member.
I think I'll go the officer table.
Okay, great. Roll 1d6.
4.
Okay, so you get a melee blade. So your melee blade goes up, which you already have that, right?
Yeah, I guess it goes up to 2.
Yes. So something to note, you'll notice here that it says there's no number after it, after the skill name. That means you just add 1 to whatever you have.
Right.
And sometimes it'll say +1, then that's also you adding 1. But if it says, if you look down on the ranks and bonuses, mechanic 1, that means you just get mechanic level 1. If you already have that, you don't get it again.
Awesome.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So now that you're on this crew, you've developed a little bit, and now let's roll your survival check, which for you is going to be intellect 5+.
Okay. Should be able to make this, hopefully. Yep, crushed it.
Okay.
Nice.
Great. So now, because you passed your survival check, you get to roll for an event. So roll 2d, and I will read you your event.
5.
You are given advanced training in a specialist field. Roll education 8+ to gain 1 level in any skill you already have.
Oh, cool.
And your education is crazy good, so...
Nailed it.
All right.
Nice.
So
9 on the dice.
Which skill are you going to increase?
Advocate. I'm going to be the greatest lawyer the galaxy's ever seen.
So you're I imagine you're just like the JAG officer on some...
I'm JAG, yeah. I'm in a JAG.
Some naval vessel. Okay. All right. So you have gotten your event, and now we roll to see if you advance. So the advancement for a line crew is education 7+. God, this is so perfect for your character.
Oh my God, this is great. 6 on the die, 8 total.
Okay, you advance. So
Wow.
Ensign Bridger is promoted to Sub-Lieutenant Bridger and gains leadership 1.
That's so awesome. I love that Skid's character, Ensign, now soon to be Admiral Bridger, is going to use the law when necessary to solve any conflict he has. But when that fails, he's just going to slice people to pieces with his blade melee. Oh, it's so awesome.
That's right. I'm the deadliest lawyer with a blade. I want the truth. And if I can't get it, I'll just stab you.
So cool.
Okay, Alicia, what's been going on with Lucille? Last we left her, she was at a crossroads. She had been kicked out of her law enforcement career and had to make some hard choices.
Yeah, things were really hard for Lucille for a long time. So she ended up having to move in with her sister and her sister's husband, Joey.
Joey.
See, what's really interesting is that her sister thinks that Joey is still alive and lives in the bathtub. But Lucille knows that Joey's been gone for a long time. Anyway, she moved in with her sister Dolly, who's also a doomsday prepper and kind of has like this weird tanka type house. And she was she fell into a depression, really deep depression. not knowing what she's going to do because her whole life she just wanted to be a law enforcement officer. Now she can't be one. But she was at home and she was looking through the LuLaRoe catalogs to make sure she could be a seller, stuff like that. And in fact, when we see Lucille, she has on like LuLaRoe pants and like a faux leather vest. She was watching an episode of Dog the Bounty Hunter, and she realized it was a rerun.
Very old reruns. Thousands of year old reruns.
And she realized that even though he's crazy and his wife's insane, that he has a real business going on there. And she's thinking to herself, why can't I be like an intergalactic sort of bounty hunter? That's a business, no?
It could be, sure.
Yes.
All right.
So
do you have a particular career and assignment picked out for that, or do you want? Or I can offer a suggestion.
Well, I was looking, but you might have a suggestion because it's at first I was like, is it a rogue, but not really, or should she go to business because it's a business to be a bounty hunter? But she wants to like travel to different planets and like search out fugitives and things. That's what she was always into.
Ooh.
Maybe that's where she bumps into Titania somehow, or maybe Titania knows how to fly ships that Lucille does not know how to fly. So maybe she, I don't know, commissions her or meets her, and she explains that her father wrote a book.
My thought is that you should go rogue and choose the enforcer specialty.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
I got it. I'll do that then.
And the qualification for this is Dex 6+, and your Dex is one of your stronger skills. So
Yes, it is.
Let's
My
see
Dex
if-
is 8.
you got
So
it. So you get
yes. No, I'm gonna roll
it. Okay, great. So you have a +0 this roll, but you have to hit 6 or higher.
7.
Got it. Okay.
Got it.
So you start your bounty hunting career.
Yay! Intergalactic, get it right.
Intergalactic bounty hunting career. My apologies.
She wants to travel different lands.
Okay.
Seek justice beyond.
So now roll your survival roll. Endurance 6+.
Come on, baby. 7.
Okay. You
Nice.
survive.
Yay.
All right. So now roll an event. So roll 2D, and I'll give you a life event.
Okay, cool. 2.
Disaster.
What? No.
Roll on the mishap table.
Out.
But you are not ejected from this career, so you get to keep being an intergalactic bounty hunter.
This is exactly
yeah.
like Dog's life. He had some rough patches before he got the TV show.
Yeah.
Okay,
My
so
life
roll.
is terrible. It goes from disaster to disaster.
All right, roll 1d6 and let's see what happened to you.
Everybody's afraid of me rolling anything tonight.
Very terrifying.
I wouldn't buy a lottery ticket right now if I were you.
6.
6. Injured. Roll on the injury table.
Come on, Matthew.
Could be worse.
You know what? I'm
She could
staying
be-
home. I'm never leaving the house again. Roll 2d6.
All right.
2d6.
1d6 for this.
1d6. Maybe you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna change my dice, Matt. That's what I'm gonna
Okay.
do.
Great idea.
Higher is better
Use-
for this.
Yeah, the higher you roll is better.
What page is the injury table on, Matthew? I just want to pull it up for everyone.
47.
Purple dice. Ready? 2.
Severely injured. Reduce one physical characteristic by 1d. 1d. Oh my god.
What? What do you wait? Can I lose like a butt cheek or something like that? No one needs 2 butt cheeks.
That's true. Technically true.
Yeah, I suppose you could. Roll 1d6 and let's see how bad it is.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
great. Okay.
Okay.
So
Best
you
possible
want
result.
strength,
I was gonna
dex.
say, you kidding me?
So you're injured and it hurts, but it's not terrible. You don't lose another eye, for example. So do you want your strength, dex, or endurance to go down by 1?
Strength. Let's use my strength, because my strength I made really high, but I haven't been able to use it. And anyway, she needs more intellect to be a really good bounty hunter.
All right. Well, the one thing to think is that if you take your strength down, you'll lose that +1 modifier.
Oh,
Whereas if
really?
you choose any of the others, your modifier will stay the same.
And you
get on
can
social.
also just take the medical treatment too. And there's a chance that your bounty hunter employers will pay for at least some of that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
repair,
My
too.
bounty hunter employers.
Your client. Let's see if you can expense your medical care.
That's right. Okay, so do social.
All right.
She's like kind of on her own now.
So what do you do? What did you decide to decrease?
My social? Can I do that?
No, it
Decrease my social.
has to be a physical characteristic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it has to be like something like her hair or like a body part.
I mean, you could do a lot of things, right? You could say like you broke a leg and now you're in the rehab, you haven't been able to keep up, so your endurance is lower, or you broke a leg and your dex is you haven't been able to be as agile, so your dex would go down, but it won't affect your modifier. It just would.
That's actually a good one. Let's do where she has like a slight limp, like she twisted her ankle or something, and so she's slower.
All right, so dex would be that's great.
Yeah.
All right, so now roll 2d, and let's see if you get any money from your client.
5 and 5, 10.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna get 50%. They will give you a 50% payout to increase.
This is how I live my life. I get injured and hurt and sue everybody.
Yeah.
So you're now effectively $10,000 in the hole, but your dex can stay at 8. Like you don't. But we have to find a way. We have to get you that $10,000 at some point. Okay, let's leave Lucille there and go to Jude/Levi.
Yeah, it depends on what year it is, buddy.
All right, you're 22, but you flunked out of college. What are you thinking for a career?
The ones that kind of support my skills, and I don't want to just make something that's useless for this adventure, so you let me know at a certain point. I was looking at, sorry, I had it right in front of me. I was looking at either an artist. I was going to basically start this solar system's version of the Deftones and turn my my own pain at being rejected into really good rock music. My own summer would come out of this, I think.
Okay.
Or I could go into kind of merchant marining it up, which is an interesting way. Just try to make his fortune in the world.
There's also so romantic. Having your heart broken and joining the merchant marine. It's so old-fashioned.
It's so like 50s.
What are you, Jack London?
It wasn't Jack Kerouac a merchant marine? I feel like
I think so. Yeah. Right.
You could also still try to be a journalist. Like that's also an option for you. Like just because you flunked out of college doesn't mean you can't be a journalist.
All right. Well,
But I don't want to crush your dreams of being a member of the Deftones.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's really, there's so many options in front of me as to what I could possibly do. What is it? 1, 2, 3. There's like 33 choices of assignments to choose from, and I just am not sure some of which I don't qualify for, some of which don't make sense. I'm thinking of Vicky's initial note of pursuing what you're good at. Yeah. So I just want to make sure that I'm having fun in character creation, but I also want to make a salient, valuable crew member of whatever happens.
Well, you did take profession journalism, so I think you already have that skill, so it might be worth pursuing that.
Stick with journalism. Okay, here it comes. What do I do?
So to qualify for this, you're going to go entertainer career, and then your assignment will be journalist. So this is going to be a dex roll or an intellect roll of 5+. I would say for you, it's probably intellect.
All right, here it comes. And I'm just 1 point away on my intellect from being able to get a bonus on this roll.
Yeah.
10.
Okay, nailed it. So yes, you are hired as a journalist. Great. Okay, so let's see if let's roll for survival for you. Education, 7+.
Okay, here it comes. 11. Where were these rolls before?
All right. Oh, sorry. We forgot to do your skills and training. So if you look on page 28 for entertainer, you can do you choose a table. Personal development, service skills. You can't do advanced education or journalist. And you roll 1d6 on those tables, and then you get that skill or that characteristic boost.
So it's under 1d6 on either personal service, or personal or service.
Or journalist.
Or journalist.
Or journalist. I'll do journalist since that's what I was saying I'm going for. So here
Great.
it comes. Oh, out of the box. 6.
Streetwise. So you get your streetwise skill is now level 0.
Streetwise of 0. Perfect.
Nice.
Great. Okay. Let us roll for survival. Or did we just do this?
No, you said
No, he
that
did. You got it.
You did survive.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, I skipped
I need the
training.
event now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you get an event. So roll 2d6 and let's see what happens. Let's see what case you're breaking.
All right, an 8.
8. Oh, wow. Ooh, this is right up your alley.
Okay.
You have the opportunity to criticize or even bring down a questionable political leader on your homeworld. If you refuse and support the leader, you gain nothing. If you accept, gain an enemy, and roll an art or persuade 8+. If you succeed, gain 1 level in any skill you already have. If you fail, increase a skill anyway and roll on the mishap table.
I accept, and this is how I start operating under the name Levi Blaze. It's my pseudonym.
Yeah.
Your nom de plume.
My nom de plume. And you know what? When Levi Blaze puts his plume to paper, it
All right.
becomes a nom de guerre because he's going to war with this MFer.
All right, roll either art or persuade.
Art or persuade?
Do you have any of those skills? Either of those skills?
You don't have either of those.
I don't have either of those, no.
All right, so you have to roll this as a -3. So you have to roll very well.
Oh, come on. How's an 11 suit you?
Just got
Nailed
it.
it. Nailed it.
Just got it.
All right, so you take down some corrupt politician and you gain a +1 to any of the skills you already have.
+1 to any of the skills I already have. Okay. I mean, profession journalist would make the most sense to me, or streetwise.
Or streetwise. Yeah.
How helpful is streetwise? I don't know.
It could be
Streetwise
huge.
would be good. I mean, it's how you're going to gather information. I'll read you what the skill is. Hang on one second. Let's pull it up. Streetwise. A traveler with the Streetwise skill understands the urban environment and the power structures in society. On his homeworld and in a related system, he knows criminal contacts and fixers. On other worlds, he can quickly intuit power structures that can fit into local underworlds.
Oh, you know Levi Blaze can fit anywhere he's needed.
All right. Okay. Now you're going to roll advancement. So
Okay.
for you, advancement is intellect 5+.
Okay. Come on, baby. 7.
Okay, you get it.
Nice.
You are now a freelancer. You're rank 1.
Love it.
And you get the skill electronics comms 1.
Nice.
Electronics comms 1.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's leave Jude/Levi there. Is he now officially going by Levi, or is that just his nom de plume?
I think he feels he's undercover for the time being, and I think right now he's actually writing freelance work as a travel writer under the name Butch Cairo to give him some
How
space.
many names does he have?
He's a man of mystery.
Grifter. He's a grifter.
All right.
Awesome.
So, Sydney, let us do Titania's second term as a scout.
Okay.
All right. So let's have you roll survival.
Okay. Endurance +7, right?
Yeah, you're an explorer, so yeah, endurance +7 or higher.
7+, yeah. Ooh, 4, 5, 6. Oh no! Wait, hold on. Oh, 7. I'm good.
Okay,
Nailed it.
you're good. Okay, let's do your. I did it again. We should have done your skills and training first. So you can choose from the personal development table, the service skills table, the explorer table, or the advanced education table. I'm on page 42 of the CRB.
I would like to do the explorer table.
Great. So roll
So I-
1d6.
Okay, let's see. I really want pilot. Let's get it. 5.
You get stealth. Stealth at level 0.
Ooh, I'm gonna need to know you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need to know you.
we're gonna be friends.
All right.
Okay.
And you pass your survival roll, which I should have done second, and now you get an event. Let's roll on the event table.
Okay. And that's 1 or 2d6?
2d6. 2d.
2d. Sorry, 2d. So cool. Double sixes!
Wow. You discover a world, item, or information of worth to the Imperium. You are automatically promoted.
Oh, cool.
Is that good? Is that very good?
Yeah. So you
Let's
become
go.
where are you? You're a rank 1, so now you're a scout. You're an official scout, and you get vac suit 1.
Well, on my skill, I add that.
Yeah. So basically, like,
Okay.
you're trained in now in being out in the spacesuit. That's pretty cool. Like, what do you think?
Awesome.
This is Titania's dream, right? Like, what do you think she discovers?
This must be like what it feels like to become an astronaut. Like truly, like you could be anybody, and then you go to school and you do all the education. Like she's just on track, and it feels haphazard coming from where she came from, but like she had the skills, like she knew it, and she just exploded in college and was able to pursue it like this. And I think she is like just fully digging into thinking this will be her life forever, and that she may never have a family like her parents did. She may never settle down. And it's such a juxtaposition, but she loves what she does so much that it's invigorating. Like this job gives her life. So I think this promotion means so much to her. Grant, you're chomping at the bit. Tell me.
I see you in space looking down at your former planet, and I see Jude on the street looking for leads, stopping outside of a Deckard Cain neon-soaked futuristic Chinatown, eating ramen out of a cup, and looking up at a glint in the sky. And just how separate, like that's what he's saying right now.
And Titania's like up in a ship, has been traveling, however many light years and stuff, and bouncing around, and she's like, oh, I could really go for some ramen right now.
Finally, a way back in.
Let's think about it. So I think of you as like the engineer on some scout ship, on some scout detachment, and maybe like you're able to use your skills to, tweak the jump drive to get them a little extra range, and you find a world that no one's ever made contact with, and the Imperium is delighted. So now, you get that automatic promotion. You found this totally new planet no one ever knew existed. All right.
How old am I? I'm 22?
You're now, so you finished this term, you're now 22.
Imagine.
No, I'm sorry, you're now,
No,
this
you're
is your
20
second term. You're
6.
26.
I'm 26. Dang, I discovered a new world at 26.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Planet Titania.
I name it after me.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's uninhabited and is resource rich or something. That's
Yeah.
why the
Oh,
Imperium
maybe.
wants it.
Actually, I name it Wesland. I name it after my family.
Yeah, see, if you're never going to have a family, this is the way to carry on the family name. Just name the planet after
The planet.
your father.
This is way better than getting a piece of Scotland named after you for nobility, I'll tell you that much.
All right, I will say I want to run us a little long to just complete character creation, then we'll start the adventure next week.
Okay.
I think we'll do like one, depending on how fast we can run through this, we'll do 1 to 2 terms more for each of you. If you ever hit a point where you do want to stop, that's fine, but don't feel pressured, because if worst comes to worst, we can roll over email and finish the rest of your character creation that way. But Skid, let's go back to you and check in with Aaron Bridger in the Navy.
It's meeting his
So-
fellow man.
Let's do your skills and training.
Okay. I think I want to go personal development.
Great.
Strength +1.
Wow, that was your one deficient stat.
Yeah. Actually, that's true. Yeah.
And now you get it. You move up into the next modifier strata. You get plus 0 to your
I'm
strength
at
check.
0 modifier. Yeah, perfect.
All right, let's do your survival. Intellect 5
Okay.
plus.
Nailed it. Barely.
All right, roll for your event.
Okay. 7.
Life event. Okay, so there's a separate table for that. So if you go to the life events table on page 44, you roll 2d6 again.
Okay.
Ooh.
4.
Ending of a relationship. A romantic relationship involving you ends badly. Gain a rival or enemy.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Yes!
Okay.
Yes!
So there is a space on your character sheets to note your rivals and your contacts and your enemies and allies. So you can just keep track of them there. What do you think happens?
Okay. I think maybe he's trying to like maintain a long distance relationship with somebody he met in pre-law who is now also an attorney. And it's like we have got these wired attorney brains that we're both like trying to lawyer each other into having the life that we want for ourselves. And I think it blew up, and she's suing me.
Oh no! This actually can happen. Remember, there was whose character was Grant? Was it your character or Troy's character in the car kept getting sued?
Yeah. Well,
that's right.
He may have done some unfortunate things throughout his life.
Okay. Roll for advancement. Let's see if you get promoted. Okay. So this is going to be education 7+.
Education 7+. Okay. Just got it.
Okay.
5 on the dice +2 modifier 7.
So despite the ending of this relationship and gaining your ex as a rival or an enemy, it sounds like rival actually, like you're going to meet in court one day and there'll be a TV show about you. You do get promoted to lieutenant.
Yes.
So you're now Lieutenant Bridget.
Oh my.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I just had another image from Skid's amazing character of like you and your rival training in zero grav blade melee training and like taking off your like helmet, your foil, and like sweating and like just having that cross dissolve and the two of you across a deposition table. And it's just
That's great. Yeah, we probably were on like the fencing team together at Ohio Space. That's how we fell in love. And yeah, now it's like we're rivals of a different kind, sparring.
love it.
Awesome.
Okay, let's jump to Lucille Kershaw, who has discovered a new career as an intergalactic bounty hunter.
Yeah, she's gonna lean into it. You know, she's really getting into this. She decides to pursue this. So now she's officially rogue enforcer. She somehow gets involved with a crew of bounty hunters. So she joins like a little band of bounty hunters that are kind of rogue and on their own. In learning with them and fulfilling some of their tricks, she finds out that there is another rival bounty hunter group. And there's one mark that they're both chasing, and it's an Aslan, and they're very violent, right? Those aliens, are they violent or?
They have like a warrior culture, like they're like Klingons basically.
Okay, so there's this, I guess he's very young. He's like 18 and he's really strong and he's gaining a lot of ground as far as followers, and because he wants to take over multiple planets and he's considered dangerous. So her bounty hunter sort of faction, I'll have to come up with these names for next time, but they've decided they want to go after that mark because the purse is huge, and she's new as a bounty hunter, so she wants to really be a part of this and make our mark. And so she's doing some research, and the last thing she's found is that the last time he has been seen or heard of is on this planet that's brand new called Wesland.
Okay.
All right, wait.
So she's now thinking she may have to make her way there. What?
Oh,
All right,
snap.
so let's pause and let's see what happens. Let's see if this goes well. This goes well or goes badly.
He's like, let's pause.
Well, first, let's do your training skills and training. So you roll on the personal development, service skills, or enforcer table.
Oh, geez. Enforcer skills. Yeah. Okay.
So roll 1d6. Which table you want? You want service skills? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Roll 1d6.
5.
Okay, you gain stealth level 0.
Nice.
Thank God.
Nice.
Got it.
Stealthy.
Okay, so now roll an endurance 6+ to see if you survive or if you're going to get a mishap.
Can we just say a prayer for me here? 2D. Come on.
I'm praying. I've got my fingers
9.
crossed.
You got it.
Nice.
All right. Great. Now roll 2D for an event. And this would be what you could share
Oh, come on.
with Sydney's character, feasibly.
Come on.
Okay, this would be cool. 7.
Ooh.
Life event. Roll on the life events table.
Ooh.
Okay,
Go
roll
ahead and roll
1d6 or 2.
2.
7.
New contact. You gain a new contact.
Oh my
There you
god!
go.
This game
knows.
it's like
This
the best.
is weird.
it's worse than a Ouija board, dude. Like it's freaking me out.
Whoa!
I love that. I love that.
So
Yeah.
because you're using the connections rule, and I'll let you guys talk about what you're going to do, off air. But you would each get a skill, and you both get to do it because so you can decide how you met each other. Maybe like you met in a gun battle, or maybe you met in a bar and you get caroused together, or whatever you can choose. But yeah,
Okay.
you're using if you use the connections rule, so you can't use the connections rule with Sydney again. And Sydney, you can't use it
Okay.
with Alicia again. But
Okay.
that's great. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, I just want to just say,
Perfect.
in the interest of moving us along, let's roll for
Okay.
advancement for you. So this is going to
Okay.
be strength 6+.
Come on, baby. What? 11.
Oh,
You're good.
Nice.
You advance.
I had the
okay.
dice with the unicorn on it again. It throws me off.
Okay, so you're now rank 1.
Okay.
The ranks in Enforcer don't have names. And you gain Persuade 1. So your Persuade
awesome.
skill is now level 1. So you're getting
great.
better at getting people to give you what you need.
This was
It's like
what her
Cowboy
real
Bebop.
calling was.
This is awesome.
Rank
All right.
1, persuade 1. Okay.
Jude,
Yay.
Levi, Butch,
Uh-huh.
continuing on
Levi.
in the journalist career.
Yes, please. I'm trying to figure out what page that was on again. Entertainer.
28.
28. Thank you, sir. And continue on there.
So you want to do, you can do skills and training. So personal development, service skills, or your journalist skills.
Personal development, service skills, or journalist. I kind of want to develop personally, but I also want to develop journalist skills.
Well, I will point out that Jack of all trades is available to you on the
I know.
personal development.
And in our car ride, I had Jack of all trades 3, which was
3,
the
yeah.
greatest. Again, I feel great regret for that car ride, but also great joy for knowing the characters we never got to play. All right,
One of the worst car rides ever gone on my life, but we did have a lot of fun playing
But it was
Traveler.
fun.
We didn't even play Traveler. We just did character creation.
I know,
for
for like
hours.
3.5
Yeah.
hours. It was awesome.
Let's go for personal development for that Jack of all trades, baby. 6.
You got it. Jack of all trades, 0.
Dang.
I was
Huge.
the roller coaster of character creation for me, and I think other people has just there's dips, peaks, and valleys, and it feels so awesome, like building this out and like understanding who this person is over time.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if you survive. So please roll an education 7+.
Oh, come on. What could go wrong?
Come on.
7.
Okay, you get it. Roll for an event.
Oh God. Hold on.
Events are mostly positive.
Yeah, I know, but the
Generally
first
speaking.
event I got ruined my life.
Yeah,
until I got it together. 10.
Okay. I gotta modify this a little bit for you. So something of yours, something you wrote, or maybe your notes, are stolen, and the investigation brings you into the criminal underworld. Gain one of the following: Streetwise 1, Investigate 1, Recon 1, or Stealth 1. So if you already have one of those skills at level 1, nothing happens. So I would encourage you to choose one you don't have at level 1.
I feel like Investigate and Recon are the most attractive to me. Investigate makes the most sense for my character. So I'm going to go with
You're already
Investigate 1.
muckraking journalist.
Yep.
All right.
Perfect.
Roll for advancement. So
God.
this is intellect 5+.
6.
You got it. Okay, so now you are a staff writer. You were hired. And you, all right, I will let you lemon law because you get investigate 1 from this for being promoted. So if you want to take
Okay,
recon,
so Recon 1.
yeah,
Recon's great. Recon's basically perception.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Okay.
I love this character now.
I love
awesome.
it. That's
Really cool.
awesome.
So he's now a staff writer. He got hired at maybe like the equivalent of the New York Times or something.
He's starting to show up on various podcasts whenever his area of expertise is important, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Well, thanks for having me. This is my first time on a pod. I love it."
All right,
Welcome to the staff of the Times Traveler.
all right. Sydney, let us revisit Titania. and see how she's doing.
Yeah, Titania's making new friends.
It's making
I
new
love
friends.
it. Yeah, she's on Wesland, and I guess she's zooming off Wesland now after making a cool connection with this lady with an eye patch. But I'm sure she'll see her again soon.
Yeah, you exchange the deets. You exchange deets, and you can.
Yeah, we got each other's space Instagrams, and we followed each other, and we're friends.
Instagrams, MySpace. Woo!
We got each other's MySpace.
MySpace. It's definitely MySpace.
It's good.
All right.
Okay, so I need to roll survival again. I'm in my career still.
Well, first you can do your skills and training. So you could do
my
personal
skills.
development, service skills, advanced education, or explorer.
Yeah, let me do let me do service skills.
Great.
Or no, sorry, let me do explorer again.
Okay.
I feel like that's better. Let's see. 4.
You get science, and I'm assuming you can choose a specialty. So I'll let you look through those in a bit. And great, now you roll survival. So for you, it's going to be endurance 7+.
Right.
Yeah, those long trips, long haul space flights.
6. Oh, I just made it again with my +1, 7.
Okay, so you survive. So roll 2D for an event.
All right, let's go. Let's have a good time in space. That's going to be a 4.
Okay. You survey an alien world.
Oh.
Gain one of the following skills: animals, riding or training 1, survival 1, recon 1, or science 1.
Well, I thought I was gaining an animal, and I was like, oh my god!
When I read it the first time, I was like, she gets an animal?
She gets to ride an animal for the rest of the adventure? A horse, obviously. It's an
Space
alien horse. Space horse.
Course to course. Anyway, someone will understand
seems-
that reference.
Yes, I got it. I was there for you, Grant.
Thank you.
Unfortunately,
that's good.
that seems useless to me. And sorry, in terms of like survival and recon, what is recon?
So recon is similar to perception in other games. I'll read it to you if I can find the page. Alphabetical order is hard. A traveler trained in recon is able to scout out dangers and spot threats, unusual objects, or out-of-place people. And then science, you can choose any specialty you wanted to. Like you could choose robotics or astronomy or, anything, planetology, anything you wanted. The list is on page 68 and 69 of the core rulebook. Think of it as a knowledge skill, right? Like you can use it as a knowledge. You can use it to remember information and solve problems.
I think I'm going to do recon.
Great. All right. Let's roll for advancement.
Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, you get it. You nail it. So you are promoted to rank. This would be rank 2 for you, right? No, you were promoted to rank. Yeah. Yes, you're
2.
promoted. So now you don't get anything, but you are rank 2. Okay, so let's just recap here for a minute. So Aaron Bridger comes from a Navy family, goes to college, actually ends up having, goes to a state party school, but actually ends up doing terrifically and getting really interested in both theater and law, and becomes the JAG officer, the JAG attaché on a major naval cruiser.
The capital ship.
Despite suffering a terrible breakup, still manages to have an excellent career and is still progressing, and is now a lieutenant. Lucille Kershaw wanted a career in law enforcement, but was thwarted by a rogue car on a
rogue carnival ride.
Yeah, somebody sabotaged her carnival ride when she was trying to bust up a carnival ring. And
Gang of teen carnival thieves.
yes,
Yes.
who were using the carnival as cover, but. After having one of those a really depressed period living with her sister who believes her husband is still alive but is actually a ghost, has found in the bathtub has found a new career as a bounty hunter and met one Titania Wesland, who is who grew up on a colony far away from everything, didn't know anyone, didn't really know anything about society, managed to get into like the MIT of the space world. Oh no, you went abroad. Sorry, not the MIT. So it's a technological institute of similar repute at another planet, and has been building a brilliant career in the scout service. And meanwhile, Jude Wolverson, a.k.a. Levi Blaze, a.k.a. Butch Clyburn?
Butch Cairo.
Butch Cairo flunked out of college after his relationship with Titania went wrong, but then discovered a talent as a muckraking journalist. Somehow, these 4 travelers are going to reconnect and become our crew. And we will discover how next week.
I gotta decide if I'm gonna keep building my character off air. Am I gonna add more years to her little life?
We're gonna have to talk about it because
we could talk about it.
The character creation is so much fun. It's like its own game of itself, and it's wonderful. But we do want to get to play the rest of the game too. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
Dear Titania.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Yeah, I think that like Jude, Butch, Cairo, Levi, there's like a dark side we're not seeing.
There's a reason we broke up.
That's right.
See, yeah.
And I was telling you about it. I was telling you about it on Westland. There was a reason.
right.
I was like, my college boyfriend, let me tell you.
Butch pulls out an ancient cassette voice memo recorder and says, "This bounty hunter may be trouble. I might have to find a way to deal with her."
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye,
Thanks for
everybody.
watching.
Everybody.
Hope you loved it. See you next